Guys, so we are back for another reading, and this one is all about what do people say about you. So we're going to find out what people are saying, what they're thinking, what their impressions are, what they tell others about you, and all of that good stuff. So I'm really excited to get into it. And then today we have a selection of bread for you guys. So it looks really good enough to eat. I will show you guys up close, but first, this is pile one, and then we have pile number two, pile number three, and pile number four. You can see how small my hand is because these are pretty freaking large. So this one is pile number one. It's like a traditional loaf of bread. Okay, then we have pile number two. I don't know what this is. It looks like some kind of special pastry with sesame seeds on top. Okay, then we have pile number three. This is also a very traditional loaf of bread for like a sandwich or something. Also seeds on top. And then finally we have number four, and this one is another kind of special loaf. I don't know what it is. I don't eat a lot of bread because I'm gluten-free, so I literally have no idea what any of these are really, but they all look really good. They're all really large. So anyway, hopefully one is calling your name, you guys, and if you need more time to decide, feel free to rewind, pause, or take as long as you need to make up your mind. But we are going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one. So if you guys picked this loaf of bread, this is going to be your reading. You can see they did a ton of detail on the coloring. It really looks like the real thing. It's soft and squishy like some breads are, and it's about the size of my hand, maybe even bigger. I feel like it could feed a family of six. So anyway, let's get into your cards, guys. You guys got the Knight of Cups, the Sun, Page of Wands reverse, Seven of Swords reverse, King of Cups, and Two of Pentacles. So what's coming through straight away is all this cup energy with the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups. People perceive you as being very imaginative, and I feel like they would say that about you. It's almost like they would say about you in a negative way, their head is in the clouds, or like, oh, they're so dreamy, or like, yeah, they're kind of spacey, or stuff like that. But I feel like really they perceive you as someone who has these really strong artistic gifts. And I feel like you are that friend that people would like give the aux cord to, or ask like, what music have you been listening to? Or like, can you share your Spotify playlist with me? Or like they would tell other people like, oh, I think that's the band that like pile one was listening to last year. I didn't really pay attention, but that name is familiar. Yeah, that's the one she was mentioning to me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of you guys, you get onto stuff early, and I'm hearing from spirit that's because you guys are so psychic and intuitive that you guys you just have an intuitive grasp of like what's going to be big in media or in like the world. You guys just have a knowledge of kind of like how some people are really good at the stock market and they can just predict like, oh, that's gonna blow up, that industry is gonna do really well. But you guys kind of apply that towards like art and just intuitive trends with all kinds of things in life. So you guys might discover, you know, a YouTube channel before it blows up, or be, you know, the first one to listen to a band or to be into a photographer, and then, you know, cut to like a year later and all your friends are like, oh, have you heard about this Instagram account? And you're like, yeah, I've been following it. You know, it might even be kind of annoying to you because I feel like some of you guys are like trendsetters, or you wear avant-garde clothing, or you dress like in a way that I feel like people might copy you, to be honest, with the Seven of Swords reversed. I feel like you might have people around you that are kind of copiers or don't give you the credit that you deserve. And they might say to others, you know, like, oh yeah, well, I mean, I found this outfit by myself, but a lot of people are like getting stuff from your social media. I do feel like you guys have a lot of eyes on you. I feel like honestly there's this vibe of respect around you. So what people would say to others, I feel like is something like, oh, they're really cool, they're really chill. I feel like people would describe you as chill, as someone who's very relaxed. You're not super like uptight, I want to say, or super like, you don't get angry that easily. I actually think with the Page of Wands reverse, sometimes people might get like, you need to like take this seriously, or like you need to get some energy, or like why aren't you upset about this? Like people might even think that you guys are like a bit of a slacker. I feel at times that may have been a theme for you, where people are like, are you even listening to me, or are you paying attention, like this is a big deal, but you're just kind of chill and you guys don't react to things by like losing your mind. Like you're not the type of person to just start throwing things at the wall when you're mad and being like, oh my God, and screaming. You're the type to stay very calm. And so sometimes people might think that like you don't care, or like you're not paying attention or anything, but the reality is it's just that you guys are more watery, and water signs have that tendency to be pretty chill about things, even to the point where sometimes, especially with Pisces, you can be like, hello, don't be zoning out into Neptune, dream world and going onto the astral plane and chilling out. You need to like actually react to this. But I feel like generally you guys are very wise. So you kind of do know what to take seriously, and it's not like the mundane stuff day to day. You're not going to like flip out if like, you got overcharged at a restaurant or something. Like you're not going to lose your mind about certain things that other people might really stress. And so again, I feel like some people might think like, oh, they're spacey, or honestly, even some people might be like, oh, they're dumb, or like they're so ditzy. But it's not that you guys are ditzy. I feel like you guys just are very dreamy and prefer to spend time on the astral plane. Like you'd rather be in your head. I feel like a lot of you guys imagine stories and honestly give off like writer vibes or musician vibes or artist vibes. And I feel like you guys come off that way to others. I feel like people would say something to others about you guys having artistic talents and like, oh, have you heard her sing? Or have you heard him? Have you seen his writing? It's actually really good. Or like, oh my God, his aesthetic is amazing. And he's such a trendsetter. And I remember he was wearing those shoes last year. Now they're everywhere. I feel like a lot of people look to you as someone that they pay attention to what you do. Even if I honestly feel like a lot of people, when you guys first start doing stuff, people don't understand it. And there's almost like a lag time. You guys are like the early adopters. So you might have a lot of people being like, oh my God, they're so weird. Or like, I don't get it. They have a weird sense of style, or they wear their hair weird, or they listen to like weird music or something like that. Like people calling you weird. But then it's like later on, they see everyone adapting that and they may or may not give you the actual credit. A lot of them probably not with the Seven of Swords. They might just like move on to the next and not admit that you guys were the first one to do that. But like there is that acknowledgement inside their head of like, wow, I know they mentioned that before, and I know they were the first one who was onto this. And so yeah, you guys are getting a lot of downloads from spirit about this stuff, and you're just highly intuitive, and I feel like psychically gifted. I also feel like you guys have some psychic abilities. You might be that go-to trusted friend that people come to you with like all their problems and ask you like, okay, so what do you think of my new boyfriend? Or, what do you think of this situation? Or like they like your impressions of people, especially. I feel like you give advice, like relationship advice, and I feel like you guys are good at that. So your friends and people around you see you as someone who's wise. I also feel like people see you as understanding. You guys might have even not just friends, but random strangers coming up to you and like telling you all their business, telling you like secret situations, like don't tell anyone, but actually, this is going on in my life. And you're kind of like, why would you tell me that like you're stealing money from your job or something? But you're not actually, it is safe with you. You're not going to like report them to the authorities or something. You guys are very understanding. So their intuition about you is correct. But I feel like a lot of people see you as like that intuitive guide, even though they don't have the words for it. You guys just naturally serve as like this kind of, I'm hearing wizard figure where you give out advice. And honestly, I feel like sometimes people might resent you for this because it's almost like they tell you something and then afterwards they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I told anyone. I've never told anyone that. And so they might actually like tell you stuff and then be standoffish to you the next time you see them, and you're like, what's the deal? Like, you just told me that you're cheating on your boyfriend, and now suddenly you're pretending you don't know me. But it's because like people are drawn to your wise energy, but then sometimes they're like, oh my God, I literally haven't told my best friend of 20 years that, and I told you, and it freaks them out. So we also got woman holding a coin, goddess of the moon, and strategy. So with goddess of the moon, again, this water psychic energy you guys exude, moon goddess energy. Some of you guys might be cancers. I also feel like with woman holding a coin and strategy, something I think is really cool about you guys is it's not just like you guys are like dreamy but kind of spacey, but not that smart in the real world. I feel like you guys are very strategic. I actually feel like a lot of you guys are going to be quite wealthy because you have a good way of balancing with Two of Pentacles your kind of intellectual, or not intellectual, more water, like emotional, creative minds with this entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know if I mispronounced that. Mercury's in retrograde over my retrograde, y'all, so just forgive my mispronunciations. But I do feel like you guys have an entrepreneurial spirit where you guys would be good makers of money. And a lot of people see you as destined for that. I also feel like people talk about your financial situation. I feel like a lot of people kind of are baffled. Like, how do they make money? Or some of you guys might work in non-traditional jobs and they might be like, I never saw them going into the office, but they always have cute stuff. They're always doing well financially. Like, I think they're loaded. Where do they get money from? Even if some of y'all are broke, I feel like you just come off as someone who has money and someone who's doing really well financially. You just project that image. But I also feel like for some of you guys, it's about your future destiny. Like, you come off as someone that, like, people would trust you with their money. Like, they feel comfortable being like, I'm going to invest X amount of money. If you came to them with a startup or like a business idea, they would be like, sure, I'll go into business with you. Because even though you guys have this creative side, you're very good at like being down to business and like, you know, putting together the numbers and the brass tacks of everything. You guys are very good at that. And something I kind of skipped over in the top row is the Sun card. So you guys are naturally also the center of attention. And I honestly feel like a lot of people might say that in a negative about you, something like, why does she always have to be the center of attention? Or it might be a situation where you walk into a party and suddenly you have like members of the opposite sex running up to you and wanting to talk to you. And you're just like, I'm not even trying, I'm not even dressed up. And you're like, what is this? And it might even make people jealous of you, that they're like, why do they always have guys into them? Or why do they always have girls talking to them? I feel like, especially for my feminines in this pile, this is kind of a divine feminine energy with goddess of the moon, and a lot of, you know, masculine energies are drawn to divine feminine energy. So it might create jealousy for others around you. It might create people being angry and, you know, projecting that on you as like they're doing it on purpose. They just always have to have attention and you're not doing anything. You're just existing. You're just existing in this vibe, and it's not your fault that people are drawn to it. Not that there's anything bad about it anyway, or that you have to be like, it's not my fault, but I just feel like it's unintentional on your part, and yet people kind of project that as like something you're actively doing. But I feel like people really notice that you are always the center of attention, and people are always looking at you, staring at you, trying to talk to you, wondering what you have going on. I also feel like some of you guys have a little bit of a secretive vibe, and moon can definitely be that energy where you don't actually tell people everything about you. In fact, at first, I feel like even though you come off as very compassionate, I'm hearing icy. So I feel like some of you guys have an icy vibe and kind of like almost reserved energy. Like, I feel like you're not that type to pour out absolutely everything at a party the first time you meet someone and be like, this is my life story, and my ex-boyfriend broke up with me here, and then we tried to make it work, but then, you know, his ex-girlfriend was crazy. Like, you're not that type that's going to start telling people everything about you. You're going to like selectively kind of parse out information, and that creates an air of mystery about you, which even kind of adds to like this attention sun energy, that you're just not trying. You don't care. Like, if someone else is the center of attention, you're happy. So people are like, well, what's the deal with them? Because I don't actually know them that well. And a lot of people would like to know you, but I feel like they don't. And I honestly feel like some people might also say, as a result of that, that you're snobby, or that you're like, oh, they're I don't know what the word is. I mean, combined with women holding a coin and this other vibe, like maybe you're bougie, or you're, you know, what's the word? Kind of like discriminatory, not in like a bad way, but like, you know, in the good sense of like they only hang out with certain people. They keep their circle small. Like, no one can really know them. And a lot of people want access to you, but might not get it. So we got full moon in Scorpio, break through the tension. Full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check. First quarter moon in Taurus, release control. Last quarter moon in Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. And fourth quarter moon in Pisces, honor your feelings. So much earth water energy, which is kind of what I was saying before. You guys have a nice balance between being very down to earth and strategic and also being this super strong water energy coming through. So we got 2 Scorpio cards as well as Pisces. I feel like a lot of you guys are water signs and possibly water earth combo. So a lot of water, a lot of earth. We also, Capricorn, I feel like is coming in really strong, but you guys, like I said, there's a combination of having, and water earth is one of my favorite combinations in astrology because it gives someone the kind of divine insight and spark of inspiration they need to create like amazing art or really transcendent things, but also the earth energy to be down to earth and follow through and execute it well and not just kind of do it jankily, because sometimes water signs can be a little too dreamy, a little too head in the clouds, and just be like, oh, whatever, I can't deal with this. I can't pay my taxes. It's too hard, you know? And that's like honestly water energy, which is beautiful in its own way, but that can be hard in the real world. And I feel like earth energy can be the opposite, too, you know, too like down to earth, too rigid, too like divorced from the divine. And you guys have this beautiful combination of having both combined. You guys are both very dreamy and head in the clouds, but when it comes down to it, you know how to execute and you know how to get it done. So I feel like people, this is probably why you guys emanate this energy of success and future money, is because this energy is such an unstoppable one when it comes down to making good art. Because art, there can be a lot of money in art, you know, making movies and something or something like that. You need that balance between like getting the filming done on time and having the filming be really divinely inspired and having, you know, really deep meaning that comes from spirit. So I feel like you guys have that really good combination. I'm also hearing from people from spirit that you guys make people really comfortable with you when they first meet you. A lot of people that may have nerves or be jittery when they first meet you, I feel like they calm down when they actually talk to you. And that might be one of the reasons why I feel like you guys get sought out at parties where people will just come up to you and like start talking to you, is because you have a calming energy to you. You guys are so calming. You guys have this kind of vibe of like putting people at ease. Whereas with others, they feel like they might have to put on a mask and hide themselves and pretend to be someone else. You have this disarming quality where they could literally tell you like they robbed a bank and you'd be like, oh, why'd you do that? Like you're so non-judgmental that people are like, oh, I don't have to pretend with this person. So again, I feel like that's why people really open up to you really easily, is because you take away some of their attention. Like you just make them feel a lot more relaxed, and you're not like most people. I feel like have kind of a rigid idea of like how things are supposed to be. Like, okay, you got to get this kind of school, and then you got to get this kind of job, and you got to fit into there, and you got to dress this way. And you guys are so not on that kind of vibe. You guys are so like individualistic, and you just accept people as they are with release control, that I think it's like people want to reveal themselves to you. People want to be open and look, we got reveal what needs to be seen, honor your feelings. I feel like that's what you do for people. Like they might even sometimes repress their feelings and then they talk to you and they're like, oh, actually, you know what? I never knew, but I'm really still upset about my ex-boyfriend. I didn't expect to cry at that party to that random girl, but you know, it's like you guys just have that disarming quality on people and they know that you're like a safe space to share things with. So let's get more cards. So we also got Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom, Jeweled Webbed, Connectivity, Lost in Space, Needing Direction, and Many Masks, the Authentic Self. So this card is kind of what I was talking about. People can really finally be authentic with you and share their truth about whatever, because you guys are not going to hold it against them. I also feel like a lot of you guys get downloads from your ancestors. They're very much strongly around you guys. And I almost feel like people, yeah, I feel like people get a vibe of that when they're around you. I feel like sometimes some of you guys, you might look very like distinctive to your ethnic class or something, or you look almost like a different ethnic class or something. But I feel like when people meet you, or they're like aware of your ancestors somehow, or there's something about thinking about your ancestors or where you came from. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to put it into words, the vibe I'm getting. Maybe some of you guys are like, I'm so proud to be Irish, or I'm so proud to be Puerto Rican, or I'm so proud that my ancestors came from Africa or Italy or wherever. I don't know, wherever. And I feel like that comes off. Like, I feel like people get a vibe of you where they can kind of either trace your lineage, or some of you guys, it might be like, they can't place it exactly and they might be like, are you, Dominican or something? And you're like, no, I'm not, but I get that a lot or something. Or they might be like, are you Scottish? And you're like, no, I'm actually from Ireland, or I'm from France, but everyone thinks I'm Scottish. Or even something not close. They might be like, "Are you Brazilian?" And you're like, "No, I'm from Belgium," or something. My ancestors are from Belgium. But I feel like there's something about you that kind of like conjures up your ancestry, if that makes sense, and people wonder or ask about it or think about it. It's almost like people can feel your ancestors walking with you. So I mean, everyone has their ancestors with them, but I feel like, especially with you guys, it might just come up in their mind. They might not understand why, but on a subconscious level, that comes up for them because they're thinking about your ancestors, because your ancestors are around you, protecting you guys super strongly. And you guys feel very connected with them. I feel like a lot of you guys have a lot of respect for your ancestors, and you do kind of, pay respect to them in your mind at least. And so it's like, I feel like it's like a reciprocal relationship, and that might be why they come so strongly with you guys. I feel like you guys also, again, with Lost in Space, sometimes people think you have your head in the clouds, or like, oh, they're not really paying attention, they're not really that efficient, or they're not really that on time, they're kind of spacey. But I also feel like people give you that kind of leeway because when you do show up, you're so on point, you're so smart. But there may be conversations they have with others about, like, oh, they're always late, or they never text me back, or they're so bad at responding to emails, or something like that. And some people who may have it out for you guys, because I do sense a lot of jealousy around you guys, might try to play that off as a negative or as like a bad thing, or as saying that you're not that intelligent as a result. But yeah, so we also got answers, happiness, love. So a lot of you guys are going to be a source of answers for so many people. And that was the other thing I was going to say about this card, is I feel like a lot of people come to you for direction and for clarity. And again, I just keep getting the vibe and the energy of like, almost like the vibe of the girl in the bathroom, and she's like consoling everyone. Like, how drunk girls in the bathroom, they'll just have conversations and they'll be like, you're amazing, your boyfriend is lucky to have you, and stuff. Like, that's kind of you. Or other people are crying to you and you're the one comforting them, being like, you're beautiful, you don't deserve this. Like, I feel like people come to you, and even though they don't mean to or they don't expect it, they just kind of unleash their problems. They just finally will dump them on you. And honestly, it's a wise choice because you guys are very wise. I feel like a lot of you guys have manifested a lot throughout different lifetimes, and you guys have a lot of accumulated knowledge and wisdom to share. And that's probably one of your life missions. So people are not just picking up on BS and just being delusional when they start telling you stuff. They are picking up on something very deep and true, which is that you guys are super wise and intelligent in that way. And honestly, the advice you guys give is probably going to be absolutely grade A, perfect advice. I feel like you guys generally also are happy-go-lucky. Again, some people might think you guys have like this perfect life, or that you guys are bougie or grew up with a lot of wealth, or like, wow, you must have had a great childhood, or you must have had a great background. And I almost feel like for some of you guys, that may be true. I'm hearing for some of you guys, but for others of you, you might have been through a lot of ish, and you're just very wise. Like I said, very unflappable. Kind of like when something bad does happen, you're not the type to start crying and burst into tears and screaming. So people might be like, oh, they have it super easy. They're always so relaxed and chill. So yeah, nothing bad ever happened to them. And the reality is, you guys are just very optimistic. I feel like you guys will walk around with a smile on your face. And again, this might contribute to some people thinking that you're like dumb, which I even hate that word, to be honest. But it's like, they might think like, oh, they're not paying attention to what's going on, or maybe even they don't pay attention to current events. But it's just that you guys are on a very high vibe, and you realize that you need to keep your vibe high for the collective, and there's no point in like being enraged or walking through life crying and so upset and letting it ruin our vibe because of like events that are out of our control, you know, like, so I feel like you guys tend to take a very chill attitude to things, and some people might think it means you don't care when that's not the case. You just don't handle things by like being super hysterical about it, if that makes sense. You tend to be, you know, trying to be positive, trying to look on the bright side, and trying to keep yourself pretty chill. So I feel like you guys come off as an optimist, but as a result, a lot of people might think your life is perfect or super easy, or you just have everything like taken care of for you. And again, I feel like some people might cast you as being spoiled, or like they don't even know what it's like to struggle. They don't know what it's like to go through hardship. Everything comes easily to them kind of vibe. So that might be a source of resentment for some people. They might describe you that way, or even call you like privileged, or, you know, just like a spoiled brat, or if they're being, you know, really harsh and negative with their language, something like that. But I feel like that's not the case for you guys. You're just very you try to actively keep yourself blissed out. Some of you guys have been through so much struggle, and you realize that our vibe and our energy affects what manifests in our life. And you're like, that's why I'm optimistic, is because I'm not going through that ish again. I've already been through it, and it was so horrible and so bad that I am like so careful about my energy and my vibe. It's not because I've never been through anything, it's because I have been through stuff and I refuse to go through it again. And I'm trying so hard not to have negativity come back into my life. And people might not get that, and they might think that you just had it super easy. I also feel like a lot of people tend to fall in love with you guys. And I feel like you guys get, like I mentioned with the sun, a lot of attention from people, a lot of romantic attention. And I honestly feel like that causes a lot of tension with others. I do feel like some of you guys have like really jealous people around you, really, really jealous people that you might not even be aware of the extent of their jealousy and their envy directed towards you. And I feel like some of you guys give off that vibe of like, everyone falls in love with her, or like, she always has to get men wherever she goes. And it's like, you're not even trying, you're not coming up to these guys and talking to them, you're just existing. And you know, people might even keep their boyfriend or girlfriends, you know, their partners away from you because they are afraid that their partner will like fall in love with you guys because of this kind of, honestly, some of you guys have a very ethereal vibe as well. Like I'm hearing fairies, and I feel like some of you guys, you might even be connected to fairies on the astral realm. If you felt connected to fairies your whole life, you might very well have fairies as part of your team on the astral realm. They can also be mischievous, so some of you guys might be mischievous and kind of like to play pranks and stuff like that. I can't wait for Mercury to end its retrograde, but some of you guys might, yeah, like to play pranks and just kind of be playful. And again, I feel like that's where this happiness vibe of people seeing you as immature, or people seeing you as like, oh, she never had any problems, she's always like laughing about stuff. And it's like, no, I laugh because there was a time when I needed to keep myself from crying. So I tell jokes because that was how I survived. But people don't get it. And they get envious of the joy you emanate and the love that gets directed at you. And so they project on that as like, oh, they have it all. They had it all come easy. So let's get more cards. Crossing bridges. It's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing, and protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. You guys definitely have a strong team around you. As I mentioned, your ancestors, possibly some fairies around you guys, and definitely angels for sure. And I feel like you have all kinds of, you know, spirits on the astral realm looking out for you guys. I feel like a main life mission for you is healing, and you guys give off that energy. It's almost like you're a therapist for many of the people around you. They come to you and kind of fall into your energy, and they just like unload their problems on you, and they walk away feeling so much better. I feel like a lot of you guys are that friend that your friends will call you when they have a breakup, or your friends will call you whenever they go through something hard, and you'll be like, I'll bring the wine. And they, you know, just literally rely on you as such a lifeline. Like to them, your presence in their life gives them such healing. They might not ever tell you that, but they know that you're the one they can depend on, and you're the one that will be understanding and like soothe them, because your energy field is very soothing. So I feel like about you, people say how you guys, give good advice. How they might not be able to put it into words, about, the astral realm and stuff like that. They might not be aware of energies and stuff, but I feel that they would say like, you give good advice, or like, oh, I had the best conversation with Laura the other day. She was so nice. She, honestly, she's really good at giving advice. She's really wise, something like that. I feel like, you have people who are almost like your biggest fan, and those people love you. And then you have a lot of haters that would be like, really? Laura gave good advice? I mean, she's so spacey. I wouldn't think she would give good advice at all. Then you have your haters who are jealous and who will like try to find the negative in anything you do. So, but you're very protected. And I almost feel like that might be something people notice about you, was like, dang, like I can't believe it. I thought they were fired from their job, but they're doing fine financially. Or like I thought that, that after they got broken up with, they'd be totally devastated, but honestly they're like really happy, or like stuff like that. You just might be very protected, or some of you guys might have never been broken up with, because you're so protected by your angels that they would block out anyone negative. Like I just feel like you guys have a strong ring of protection around you, that whatever you go through, it kind of bounces off you. I'm hearing that, children's like insults or sticks. What is it? It's like whatever you say to me bounces off me, sticks to you. So I don't know if that's the exact quote, but that's the kind of vibe. So you guys definitely have a lot of protection. So we also got the Diamond Dreamer, material wealth, true prosperity, the Camel Boy, small steps asking for help, and the Well Watcher, wisdom, power of the divine. So much water and like spiritual wisdom kind of energy coming through this pile. You guys just literally give off such a vibe of someone who's connected to the divine. You guys might come off as someone who meditates. I feel like some of you guys get made fun of because of that. You guys might be into like green juices, and you might, have a water filter for fluoride, which I highly recommend for everyone to decalcify your pineal gland. So yeah, and not just like a refrigerator little like filter that you just stick in. It's got to be an intense one to get rid of the fluoride. I'm just saying. But anyway, I feel like you guys might be into some of that stuff, and people might make fun of you and say like, oh, she's drinking another green juice, or like, oh my God, she's like, I can't believe, that she only will drink water from her water filter. That's so crazy. Like, I feel that some people might think you're like a little kooky because of that, but a lot of you guys are very spiritually wise and understand these principles. So I feel that, yeah, some of you guys give off a vibe of like a yogi or someone who does meditation, or they might be like, did you hear that she meditates every day for like an hour? That's crazy. Oh my God, who does that? And some, like I said, you guys have a mix of haters and supporters. So the haters are obviously going to make fun of it. The supporters are going to totally love and understand what you guys are doing. I feel like you guys also have a lot of people asking for your help, which we already covered. That's one of your life missions. But with Diamond Dreamer, I really feel like you guys seem, and people say about you, that you either already have money or you're destined for prosperity. And I feel like some of you guys, a lot of people wonder, how did they make so much money? How do they make money? Why do they always look on point with their fashion? Like, I thought that they were just working this kind of a job, so where does this money come from? And it like perplexes them, because you guys are master manifestors, or you just have the vibe of someone that is going to be in with money. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, what's interesting is the Diamond Dreamer is the name of that card. There's a bunch of cards that, not a bunch, but a few in that deck that can talk about money and prosperity. But you guys got the one that says Dreamer, because I feel like for a lot of you guys, your wealth and abundance is going to actually come from that water side that so many people put down and kind of look down on and say like, oh, that's kind of lame. Like you need to get your head out of the clouds. You're never going to make money from art, or you're never going to make money from music. But for a lot of you guys, that is where you guys are going to make money, is like this watery side of you guys that people might not traditionally think of it as a way to make money, because I feel like a lot of people have an idea of money as coming from like a 9 to 5 job, sitting in a cubicle, getting your degree, step one, step two, and being very by the book. And you guys are so not that way, but that is going to be a source of money. And people who don't have the knowledge will not be able to understand this, but that's okay because they don't have to. The haters play no role in this, so they don't have to be understood or anything. So we got goldfish, December, grasshopper, teapot, and nest. So goldfish talks about the same thing, money. You guys exude this money energy. People are wondering where it came from, and people can tell you guys are going to be making more of it. I do feel like this is really a topic of conversation. I feel like people ask about your money situation. So I feel like there's some people that are like, they must have a sugar daddy or something. That's what's coming into my mind. Like, I feel like people speculate that you have a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, and that like someone's giving you money, because again, you guys exude this like very seductive quality with the Knight of Cups. Like, the Knight of Cups is a sexy card that's like seductive. Like, it's like the hero of a romance novel or something, you know, who's just like so suave. And so you guys give off this charismatic vibe. So sometimes people are like, I bet they're sleeping with someone for money. They probably have a rich boyfriend or something. And some of you guys may be doing that. I don't know. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're like, no, I make my own money. I don't need to do that. Like, I make my money and I'm my own sugar daddy, or the universe is my sugar daddy. I don't need it. Like, so I don't know, but I feel like people love to speculate about this and how you get your money, and kind of trying to put a negative spin on it. Like, oh, they must have gotten their money like this, or they're sleeping with the boss or something. Like, I don't know. It's just haterade. But anyway, so then we also got teapot, deep friendships with someone of the same sex. And nest, an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So I feel like when you guys are in relationships and stuff, you guys have some really loyal people around you that feel like you brought so much to their life and they're so dependent on you. You have a bunch of haters, but you also have people that really love you. And I feel like a lot of you guys are really good at maintaining relationships. And when you guys decide to start a family or be with someone long term, y'all are going to be amazing in it. You're going to create such a balanced family with people that are so loving to you. You're not going to have one of those families where, you know, mom and dad are fighting all the time and they're at each other's throats and they need to go to couples therapy and they're involving the kids and there's someone's throwing a vase at the wall, and then, you know, like that kind of chaos. That is not going to be your kind of family. You guys are so emotionally mature that you are going to pick, hopefully, an emotionally mature partner, and you're going to be able to like talk through those problems and be like, what happened? Okay, I get you're feeling that way, but it was also unfair that you said this, and very mature. You know what I mean? None of that like smashing a plate and like screaming in someone's face and like, you know, running out the door, and like it just seems very calm. So I feel like when you guys do decide to settle down, because I feel like y'all have a lot of choices, that that you guys will handle it very carefully and handle yourselves well. But a lot of people respect you, especially of your same sex. They kind of look up to you. They might not admit it because, again, haterade energy, dowsing this reading. So I can tell y'all have a lot of haters. But I do feel like whether they would admit it or not, they have a grudging respect. I'm seeing like someone at the Olympics who is like talking bad about the girl who got first place, you know, like maybe the gymnast, and they're like, well, they messed up on the parallel bars. They're not that great. They're not that special. But deep down inside, it's because they know that like they got number one and that they're amazing. So I feel like even the people that don't like you, they do respect you. They'd never admit it, but they do think that. But they would say to other people like, I don't think they're that special, or I don't get why everyone has a crush on him or her, because like he's not that cute actually. But they really do get it on the inside, but that's what they might say. So it's a combination. The things people say about you are a combination of haterade, just, you know, negative stuff of like trying to take your positives and twist them into negatives. And honestly, like you guys have a lot of fans who just are blown away by you and think you guys are amazing. So it's definitely a combo coming through in this thread. But wow, you guys attract a lot of attention. Definitely little stars of this pile. So wow, a lot of energy, a lot of amazing energy. And some of you guys might be born in December. That would be Capricorn for Earth or Sagittarius. So Yeah, but hopefully it resonated, guys. Let me know if it did in the comments and make sure to give it a big thumbs up as well. I will be back very soon for another reading, so make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to check out my Patreon, I have my link in my bio and I post all kinds of readings over there all the time. So definitely check that out, you guys. I am sending you guys so much love and light. I hope you all have an amazing day and take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hey Pile 2, so if you guys got this round loaf, this is going to be your reading. So it has some sesame seeds on top as well as a lot of decoration. So a lot of you guys might know I'm gluten-free and I have been for years, so I truly have no idea what this bread is. I didn't eat a lot of bread beforehand anyway, so I'm just at a loss. But if you guys know what it is in the comments, you can let me know. It does look really good. I'm sure it will be delicious with some salted butter, but yeah, that's as close as bread as I get. So anyway, we got the Three of Swords reversed, Two of Cups, Page of Pentacles reversed, Four of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and Six of Cups. So for a lot of you guys are very connected to a past ex and possibly someone that you are in a relationship with, or maybe a soulmate on the other side. And it feels like people can almost feel this heartbreak from you, or people talk about this like, oh my gosh, did you hear they broke up? Or she just seems really lonely or something. Maybe for some of you guys who were in a relationship with someone on this astral plane, they know your ex and they talk about you guys having actually broken up, and they like know the names and they know what happened. And for those of you guys who haven't had that on this plane, maybe it's just that you give off a vibe of almost loneliness because your soulmate hasn't manifested yet. I do feel like some of you guys might struggle with depression, or you might give off a vibe of someone who's just lonely, and people are like, wow, where is their other counterpart? Like you might give off an energy of like a lost love, like, oh wow, that person was really deeply loved and they were in a deep relationship and we can just tell, we just get the vibe. I don't know, but I definitely feel like people mention this or talk about this about you, like a breakup, or maybe some of you guys went through a divorce. I don't know, but it's coming through really strong. Some of you guys had a really strong first love. They might talk about you like, I don't think she's over her ex, or I don't think he's over his ex or something. Not in a bad way. It feels like you guys have been loved really deeply, and people can tell, people can get the vibe that you guys kind of had that love, that like love of a lifetime. You know how like in the Notebook, like even though they go their separate ways, they're just kind of imprinted with each other, and probably people around them got a vibe of like, I know you're like, yeah, you know how, okay, so that movie always comes up in my readings, even though I'm not like some super fan of the movie, although it was good. But I do know that when she comes back and they're like, spoiler alert, I guess if you haven't seen the movie, you can fast forward, but and then they're together, and then his girl that he was like sleeping with, I don't know if it's a girlfriend or what, they didn't seem to have a label, comes over and she's instantly like, you're the girl. And she's like, yeah, I'm the girl. And she just knew. I don't think he ever brought it up or talked about it, or maybe he mentioned her a couple times, but she just knew intuitively that like his heart was with someone else. And it's almost like that is a vibe that some of you guys give off. Even if you haven't met them on the astral plane, on this plane yet, you know them on the astral plane, or you met them in other lifetimes and you feel lonely without them. I feel like love is a major part of your destiny, or the vibe you guys give off. I also feel like some of you guys, honestly, you might feel really emotional and it's hard for you guys to get over that. I honestly feel like some of you guys might be depressed or suffering with depression, and people might talk about that a little bit. Or some of you guys just might be very dreamy, like in your head and like listening to music. I feel like a lot of you guys, it might have taken you off your financial game a little bit and set you back a little bit. So some people might be like, oh, they're not that like organized or something, I guess, is kind of what I'm getting. But let's get into more cards, because I feel like you guys are a complicated pile. You're an interesting one. So we got full moon in Aquarius, be real. We got last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. New moon in Pisces, attune to the divine. First quarter moon in Leo, be humble. New moon in Libra, know you are loved. So I feel like for some of you guys, that relationship might have cost you something financial, or might have cost you in terms of like you were at school and you had to leave school or something because of the breakup, or you had to transfer classes or something, but it might have kind of messed with your bag a little bit or something like that. It might have taken your focus off a little bit. I feel like with Leo coming through so strongly, a lot of you guys guys attract a lot of attention. A lot of people are drawn to you guys. And I feel like with Know You Are Loved, again, you give off the energy of someone who has experienced real love or who is very romantic, someone that is kind of destined for this like great romance that I think a lot of people dream of, but might never be able to actually experience in this life. I feel like a lot of you guys just give off a vibe and a destiny for that. It's almost like your soulmate might have been imprinted on you somehow, and you just come off as someone that has been loved really deeply or will be loved really deeply, and people are just kind of like, oh, they're not fully accessible because there's a part of them that's always going to be reserved for that person that they were with or that person that they are going to be with. So I do feel like some of you guys might have people who want to date you, but then they're like they're just, yeah, they're not present. Like you guys are that person that would be on a date and like you're talking to your date, but you're thinking of an ex, or you're just like, I'm just not really feeling it. And it might be because some of you guys are connected with your soulmate on the astral realm. They haven't come in yet, but you already feel them. You already know them. I also feel like you guys can be very blunt with Be Real, full moon in Aquarius. A lot of you guys can be very like honest about exactly how you guys are thinking. Like you're not the type necessarily to sugarcoat that much. There's also a really strong air sign energy coming through. So a lot of you guys, I feel, are highly intelligent and give off a vibe almost of a little bit judgmentalness. Like I feel like people would be a little intimidated to tell you stuff because they're like, oh my God, they're super smart and they're gonna think I'm so stupid that I did this or something. Like you guys are a little bit, I don't want to say judgmental, but it's like you're highly intelligent. And you know, Aquarius can be very distant, and I feel like that's something people pick up on with you guys. Aquarius is a card that absolutely loves the collective and loves people as a whole, but when it comes down to individual relationships, sometimes they can come off as a little removed or a little hard to get to. And people generally are so drawn to Aquariuses, but Aquarius is that card that will be like, yeah, I just see you as a friend, you know, like, or, well, yeah, it was nice talking to you, but I mean, yeah, I'm not really looking for new friends. Like, so they can be a little distant, and I feel like there's like an intimidation factor I feel like people have around you where you just don't seem like that type who is open to absolutely everyone who wants to come into their life. You guys kind of know your worth with Leo. So, it's not that you're like bragging and full of yourself, but I just feel like you guys are selective about the energies you let in. And I feel like once you let someone in, you're a very powerful friend. You will like go to the ends of the earth for the people around you. Like Leos are so great at, like, even though people stereotype them as being egotistical, they really have such a big heart and they're so loving towards the people who are close to them. Just because they love themselves doesn't mean they can't love others. In fact, I think you have to love yourself to love others. So, you know, I feel like Leo is that sign that a lot of people are intimidated by, but when they are on your team, they're all the way in and they'll fight for you to the end. So yeah, I feel like even though people get a little bit of a intimidation around you, they also know that you guys are that person that is so loyal to your friends. And some of you guys have really trusted friends that like you are almost like exclusive, like to the people, like there's an exclusive vibe around you where people kind of want to know you, but you're elusive. You're not just going to be opening your doors to absolutely everyone. So yeah, we also got reconciliation, animals, and empowerment. So you guys give off a very kind of empowered type of vibe. You guys seem like someone who is, I think, very like knows your worth to a certain extent. This might have to do with your soulmate, where you're not going to tolerate bad behavior from people. You're not going to tolerate someone coming in and disrespecting you. Although, like I mentioned, I feel like some of you guys might sometimes get depressed or feel down in the dumps, and people might pick up on that. They might say to other people like, oh, they seem kind of sad, or like, I feel like people talk about you in the sense of saying like, oh, don't be bothered that they said that about you. Because I feel like, again, you guys can be kind of harsh, and there's a lot of people around you that want to know you, that want to get closer to you, and sometimes they almost might get their feelings hurt a little bit of like, I can't believe she said that to me, or I can't believe like she wasn't interested in hanging out with me at all. And I feel like there's almost other people that have to have discussions of like, yeah, she's kind of like that at first. She has a tough shell, but like she's the nicest person ever. So it's an interesting combination because I feel like in one sense you guys are very empowered, but in another sense you guys can kind of sometimes give off a vibe of like you don't know your worth. Like I feel like people are intimidated by you, but you guys are that pile that when you go home, you might look in the mirror and be like, "Ugh, I totally messed up today." Because you guys are harsh on others, but you're just as much, if not harsher, on yourself. You have really high standards for the people around you, but yourself included. So sometimes you might even be overly harsh. And I feel like a message from your guides that's popping through, even though it's not the point of this reading, is, be a little easier on yourself. But I also feel like a lot of you guys are animal lovers, or you're very into certain causes. A lot of you guys are charitable, and I feel like people say that about you, like, oh, they have such a generous heart. I think that's coming through a lot. Like you guys are that type that when something bad happens, or there's someone doing something predatory in the media or in the news, you would call it out, or you guys would be like, this is wrong that this is happening. You guys have a really strong moral compass, and you're not going to sit by and let people just like run amok, causing chaos for others. You are going to try to call it out if you see someone doing something wrong. And I feel like a lot of you guys, some of you guys might be connected to animal causes, or you might be vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or something. But a lot of you guys have a ton of compassion for animals. And I almost feel like some of you guys are closer to animals than you are to humans. Because I feel like some of you guys, you don't trust people, because again, that might have to do, that might be the energy I was picking up on about that lost love, but it might just be you were hurt by someone else. Maybe you were hurt by a family member or a friend, but I feel like some of you guys have trust issues, and you're not just going to open up to anyone, but you can trust animals. You know that animals are pure-hearted, and so a lot of you guys might be closer to like our furry friends than to humans. You might volunteer at an animal shelter, or rescue a certain type of dog, or just be a great caretaker of your pets and very close to them. And I feel like that people can kind of tell that about you, that you're very charitable and giving and loving to the animals in your life. But I feel like that goes for everyone you're close to. Honestly, you guys have such a big heart. You guys have the biggest heart in the world. And that might be why so many people want to get close to you, but then they sense this kind of wall up. I'm seeing barbed wire. So I feel like a lot of you guys have people that really want to get close to you, but then there's also this little bit of a wall up, or a little bit of a like mystery around you. You guys just don't open yourselves to everyone. So for some of you guys, you are very connected with your counterpart on the astral realm, and I feel like your counterpart has given you protection. Some of you guys, I feel, had a really difficult childhood. Not everyone, but some of you guys, I feel like a lot of you, the majority of this pile, have been through something really difficult, really hard, really, really hard is what I'm feeling, and really dark places. And I feel that for a lot of you guys, your divine counterpart on the other side gave you strength and protection, whether you ever met them in this astral realm or not. They were with you on the other side, and they have given you protection and kind of lended you the assistance of their spirit guides. So it's almost like you have backup on the other side from their spirit guide. You have your spirit guides, and then you have their spirit guides looking out for you. So you have a lot of natural protection. And I feel like you might visit with this person on the astral realm, and you guys might meet up over there, even if you haven't met in this lifetime, and just kind of they give you guidance and help and wisdom. And I think you do the same for them. But people can really just tell that you have this kind of, I want to say, starseed connection, which is weird because I don't think that's, well, maybe you guys are starseeds. I don't know, but that just came to mind so strongly. That might be also why some of you guys feel depressed. I know a lot of starseeds can have trouble on this realm because it's such an adjustment to this kind of earthly dimension with paying bills and, the shadiness of people. And I feel like some of you guys have really encountered a lot of shady people that tried to make you feel like you were worth nothing. And so it's like, I feel people say about you that you're guarded, that you have a little bit of walls up, and that like you're hard to get to know. And I feel like people would probably reassure them like, yeah, she's kind of prickly at first, but when you get to know her, she's the most loyal. I had someone like this in my life, and people would constantly ask me like, wait a minute, did they like people would ask me, did they like me? And I would be like, no, they like you, which sometimes that was not the case. But it was like they all wanted to be friends with this person, but this person is very selective. And honestly, a lot of their intuitions about things were right. Like I would be very trusting and I would be like, no, they're really nice. They don't mean that. But this person who was a lot more selective about who they hung out with, they would usually end up having some truth in it. So I feel like people get the vibe of you of there's an exclusivity around you. You guys are not just desperate to hang out with anyone. You guys are like the opposite of codependent. You guys are very like you're vetting the people around you. So we also got the temple path, hostilities, the thinking man, the thinking woman, and anxiety. So again, this emphasis on depression or mental health. You might have some anxiety instead, or depression, or a combination. I know a lot of times those things can come in together, but a lot of people get the vibe from you that, yeah, you might seem anxious or you might seem like but I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think people come off as like, oh my gosh, they seem like a mess or something. I think it's just that, you guys seem very deep. You seem like you have a lot of layers. Some of you guys might be open about depression or something, or you might seem like someone who just has their mind racing. I feel like you come off as highly intelligent, and people say that about you, like, oh, they're so smart, they're so deep. I feel like if people know about a news story or about a current event, like you've already done your research, you already know everything. They know that you're the person that they can go to and be like, this happened in the news, and you're like, oh yeah, I read about it. I already read 5 essays on it. Like, yep, I'm well aware. Like, people know that you're so smart, and sometimes when someone's so smart like that or very aware of current events, it can just cause anxiety because of the crazy world we're living in. So some of you guys, people just know how highly intelligent you are and that you kind of bear the weight of the burdens of this world around you. Some people, it might create hostility in them. It might make them feel like, oh, they're so unfriendly, or they're not very nice, or they're mean. And it's like they don't realize that you're protecting yourself because you guys have been hurt. And it's kind of like a beautiful castle where they put a moat around it, because they need to keep out all the, people that might try to break in and like steal stuff, or the warriors from the other side. They have to keep out like the bad people. And so for a lot of you guys, you are very special, and a lot of you guys are very highly intuitive and have a really deep spiritual dimension that I do feel like comes out in your relationship with animals and in your charity work, because I really feel like a lot of you guys are involved in charity or social justice or raising awareness or something like that. So people, you have to protect your heart. You have to protect your energy. You can't just be absorbing trashy energy from other people, but it might create jealousy and resentment and like, oh, they think they're better than everyone, or oh, they think they're too good to talk to us or something, or they always have something negative to say about like the news. And it's like, yeah, because there's always something negative in the news. Like, I didn't cause it. I didn't cause the news story. That's what's happening. But I feel that, yeah, some people might take a negative side to this, or take a negative view of how you guys kind of go through life, because it's almost like you're not afraid to make enemies. You guys, if someone doesn't like you, you're like, okay, then you're not supposed to be in my life, and I didn't really like you anyway. You guys are selective, so you're not going to cry if some random person doesn't like you, which I think is a very wise attitude to have. But some people might see you as distant, or they might say about you like they think they're better than us, or they're unfriendly, and they don't understand that a lot of you guys also are going through some of this anxiety stuff or mental health stuff, where it's not that you think you're better than everyone, it's that you're trying to protect yourself, and that's coming through so strong. You're actually like this shining bright light who's so loyal and kind to those around you, but a lot of people just don't get it. So we also got Will o' the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows, falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy, and root girl, the disowned self. So I feel like you guys have a lot of people around you that would say stuff like, yeah, they may be tough, but as soon as you get to know them, they're the nicest person ever. There's a side to you that's hidden, with treasures hidden in the shadows. And I really feel like, honestly, that creates a very intriguing vibe around you. There are people that really want to know you because they can't know you, because you're not that person that's just going to suddenly dump everything on someone at a party and tell them your life story and tell them everything about you. So it's like people are intrigued. They find you mysterious. They might say stuff about you or ask about you, like, wait, where did they grow up? Or like, wait, what did you say they do as a job? Or did you say that they moved here from somewhere? Or like, what's their kind of hobby? I mean, what's going on with them? Like, there's so much that I feel like people don't know about you, and it's almost like the more you block that, the more they fill it in their mind of like, I bet they do this. They're probably into that. Let me try to find their social media. So I feel like a lot of you guys also might have a private side to you that you might even explore on a social media account or something. You might have like an Instagram where suddenly you show a different side of yourself, like you show your fashion fits, or you show your art, or you post your singing on your YouTube and it's like hidden or something. But I feel like there's this intrigue around you. There's these people that want to know more. And then there's your close friend group. And I feel like they would say something like, yeah, they do have a private side, but like it's funny, the people around you also want to keep you private. So they're not going to tell them everything, but they will always talk about how big your heart is and how compassionate you are. And that, yeah, you might come off as tough and strong in the beginning, and you might even come off as like, they're not that nice, or they're kind of harsh or whatever, but actually deep down you guys are like the sweetest, nicest, biggest puppy dogs, and so loyal to those around you. So with the root girl disowned self, I do feel like, again, there's a part of you that you guys hide, and again, there may be an issue with depression or anxiety coming through. I don't know if anyone would pick up on that. Some of you guys might be open about that, or they might just be like, they seem like they went through a hard time, or they seem like they know a lot, or they seem like there's a depth there. You know what I mean? There is, because I love the quote by Rumi, the wound is where the light comes in. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it's like, that's where the hardest, most painful thing is where we see the most growth. And I feel like a lot of you guys have grown from this, or if you're still going through it, you will grow through it, and you will come out a more complex, more beautiful person, because you kind of have to go through the bad times to get to the good. And it gives us so much spiritual depth and wisdom. When you meet someone who just seems really deep and like there's so many layers to them, most of the time it's because they've been through some ish. And, unfortunately, we have to go through the hard times, and it gives us the complexity. Just like when you're making, I know this is weird, but when you're making a stew, you put in like this flavor and that flavor and this herb and that herb, and it makes it more complex. Like, I love putting in bay leaf and fennel seed into my just like tomato pasta sauce, and honestly, it just makes it so much more complex, even though you wouldn't think that the bay leaf would do much or the fennel seeds would do much, but like they just add it. And both of them are really hard, like inedible. You can't just eat them plain like other herbs. You have to like let them simmer and soften in the sauce, but they add so much complexity. And I feel like that's what's coming to mind for you guys. I know that's a weird cooking metaphor, but it's like your pain and the stuff some of you guys have gone through has given you this complexity, and people are intrigued by you. People are like curious about why are they like this, or where did they get so much depth? And it was raining earlier, and now the sun came out, and there's a little bird flying around too. And like, I just feel like some of you guys who are going through a lot of hard times, you're gonna have a really bright future. So let me just interject into this reading to say that, because some of you guys need to hear that, I guess. But I do feel like if you guys have been going through a hard time, they want you to know that you're going to be made much more complex by once you come out of this. You're going to be even better for having gone through it. So we also got Sisters of the Seasons, Cycles of Growth, Natural Law, Divine Order, the Spiral Dancer, Circuitous Route, Perception, the Mapmaker of Destiny, Authentic Purpose, Inspiration, Free Will, and the High Lady of Love and Compassion, Reverence, Kindness, Compassionate. You guys are so compassionate, and I feel like the people close to you see that. They see how kind you are. You guys would give the shirt off your back. I feel like a lot of you guys are, maybe you like, do charity work for like the homeless, or at a soup kitchen, or at an animal shelter. Like, I feel like there's this side to you that, again, you guys come off as so tough, but you're actually so sweet and so kind and generous and so loving towards others. And even animals might sense that and be drawn to you guys. You might have the thing where like your friend is like, oh my God, my cat hates everyone. Like just ignore my cat. She's really moody. And then the cat walks straight over to you. Or, you know, like, oh, be careful of my dog. He can be really aggressive, but the dog is like a puppy dog with you, just so sweet and loving to you. So, I feel like another thing with you guys is you're very authentic. You're very honest. And again, with some people might say that you're blunt or that like you're harsh. Like, oh, they're just way too harsh or they're mean. But I don't think you guys ever say it in a mean way. I just think you guys are upfront about like, I don't like that. And you're also going to call out like nasty problematic behavior when it happens. You're not just going to turn a blind eye and pretend like everything's fine and let someone just prey on people or let someone be up to shady behavior. You are going to be like, hey, this person's doing that. And I feel like you come off as someone who has a really strong code of morals and a really strong moral background. That might have been developed from some of these hard times you guys have gone through where you saw what, you know, how someone can be predatory or how someone can be cruel and how it affects others. And I feel like now you guys have a like deep well of compassion around you. So we also have cards about your perception and about, again, this high intelligence you guys bring off. A lot of you guys are just really smart, really well informed. You're aware of current events, and I feel like that's very intimidating. I feel like people might say you care too much about it or that you're just highly intelligent. So let's get to more cards. Fellow travelers, support is all around you, and passion and pleasure. Savor your life. I kind of feel like these are more messages from spirit to you guys, but you guys might also come off as very well traveled and a little bit, again, outside the norm. I feel like you guys, you know, because I know that this was, I don't know if it's, I know there's some controversy with the name, so I don't want to say the name because I'm not sure what like is a name that wouldn't offend some people, but these people are like kind of, I think they're called travelers now. I don't want to say because I heard it's an offensive term, but I feel that like these people were like outside the norm and would travel around back in like Europe in like the 1800s or earlier, and they were very like ostracized from society and kind of marginalized. And I feel that you guys are that type of person that doesn't mind going outside the box. And some people might even say you're weird or look down on you or be like, oh, they're into really weird stuff, or like they always have to be talking about this kind of a thing. It's so strange. There may be people that judge you because of that. I feel like also a lot of you guys are very aware of other cultures. Some of you guys might be very plugged into other cultures, and that might be something people say about you, like a foreign culture, foreign from, you know, your country that you grew up in or your culture or ethnicity that you grew up in. They might be like, oh, it's weird that you're so into XYZ country, or it's weird that you're into XYZ cuisine, you know. But I feel that you come off as someone who's very highly intelligent and sophisticated about that. So even if people don't really get it, they kind of have to respect it, because they know that you come with intelligence, and they know that you're also going to come correct when it comes to like if they start attacking you, you're going to be like, well, actually, no, that culture is not worse than ours. It's actually perfectly awesome. And here's all the facts and statistics. And so if they try to kind of push your buttons on that, you guys are going to be able to clap back, and you're not going to tolerate like people saying super ignorant stuff or people saying nasty stuff about something. You are going to kind of set them straight about, you know, not being so judgmental and not being so closed off. So you guys do come off as open-minded, and I feel like people say stuff regarding that. So we also got older man, horse, owl, mule, ram, February, bull, January, love, broken wish, and dark man. A lot of cards came out for you guys. And I think what's really interesting is like there's all these like kind of like, I think they're called pack animals, aka you can put a pack on their back and they will like trudge along and carry stuff, like the horse, the mule. I don't know if you can do that with a bull, but bull and ram are both very stubborn, and it's all kind of the vibe I'm getting is like you guys can be or come off as a little stubborn. I feel like if you don't want to do something, you're not going to do it. And that might be something that, you know, haters look down on you look down on you about or say is bad. Like, oh, they only do what they want to do, or they're so stubborn, or they just have their own idea of things, or like they never listen. But I feel like it's because you guys are very ethically motivated and you're not going to sway and you're not going to like do something that you think is bad. Like if someone's like, hey, just hang up on the customer when they, or if a customer is trying to get you to change the rules for them or like give them, something for free, you're gonna be like, no, because I didn't give that to anyone else, and like that's not fair. So I feel like you guys care a lot about fairness, and if it goes against your moral code of ethics, you don't care who's telling you to do it, you're not going to do it. You guys are so moral, and you're coming off as someone who has a really strong moral code and cares very deeply about the morality and ethics and people not being trampled on and people not being just, thrown to the side and like discarded. You care about people being treated well and animals being treated well, and that's just a major part of your psychology. And I feel like if someone tries to get you to change directions with something you don't agree with, you're just not going to do it. You're like, okay, it's never happening. You can push all day, but it's not going to happen. So we also got January and February. So that would be Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So some of you guys might be in those signs. I also feel like what comes to mind with that is like the dead of winter. And I feel like that might be some of you guys' your guys' favorite seasons, or favorite season, and you might have a vibe of like winter, because I feel like winter, it's not as like initially charming as like summer, but it's honestly, it might be my favorite season. I love when everything is frozen over and everything is cold, and it's like, you might come off as cold at first, or people might think that you're, not as over, like going out of your way to charm them. You're not like trying to get everyone to like you. And so insecure people might see that as like prickly, or like, oh, you think you're better than me. But it's not the case. It's that you guys are very authentic. And why I love winter is like, obviously, I don't want to just sit outside in the snow all day, although I love walking in the snow. But, I love being inside when the hearth is on, or, when there's a fire and it's snowing and it feels so cozy and you have a candle going and it feels so quiet and you have a book. Like that's just my favorite freaking vibe. I love it so much. I always buy up all the candles in winter and I pretty much burn them year round. I burn like the balsam fir candles and stuff. Like I just love the smell of that because I just love the vibe, and I feel like that's a vibe you guys have. You might, like, a lot of people love summer because it's like bright and you can run around outside, but there's a depth and layers to winter, if you guys know what I'm saying. Like there's more of a quiet there. It's not right as in your face as summer, as the charm of summer. Everyone knows like that summer's awesome and that you can have a lot of fun. And winter is like a quieter energy. It's not trying to please you. It's not as in your face. It's a little more tough to get through, but I love it. I just feel like it's my favorite time. I love bundling up, and to me that's the coziest feel. And I mean that's the vibe I'm getting with you, is like at first you might seem cold, but actually there's such a warmth inside of you guys. And with love, a lot of people can sense that with your loved ones, you guys are the warmest, nicest person. And I also feel like, again, on that connection on the astral plane, or I don't know, it might have been in this dimension too, but you have someone very close to you that you're very divinely connected with, that you guys understand each other so well. That might be why some of you guys are prickly towards other people, is because you're like, you're not my soulmate, and I know what it's like to have a soulmate, and none of you guys compare, so I'm not interested. Like that kind of vibe, because you've had like the best of the best. I'm hearing that line from like a song that's like, once you've had the best, how do you settle for the rest? And I don't even know where that's from, or if I just made that up. I don't know, but I feel like there's a song like something like that, and I feel like that's kind of your energy. Like you're like, oh, I guess I can hang out with these people, but they're not my soulmate. And I feel like with older man, you guys have a little bit of a Saturnian vibe with you, tough love, and kind of like someone that, people might have always told you, you seem older than your age, or you seem way more mature, or you seem like someone who grew up early, or you seem like, even though you were a kid, you were like 45, like mentally and like emotionally. You might have even had to like kind of parent your parents or something. But it just seems like you guys are more mature than your age. You might have had to grow up early in that sense, but you guys aren't like a frivolous type of person, I feel, that would just be running around, doing chaotic stuff. There's a lot of wisdom here, and I feel like people, again, they're intimidated by you. So what would they say about you? A lot of this stuff, like, that maybe you're harsh at first, or maybe that's um you can be judgmental or something, but it's only because your judgment's on point and because you guys have high standards. And I feel like honestly, a lot of people would really love to be closer to you. They do really respect the heck out of you guys. They see you as so smart and so intelligent, and they kind of know deep down that being your friend is like a major privilege. So they might cloak that in their minds with like, well, they're judgmental, I don't want to be friends with them anyway. But I feel like a lot of people do, and that that there are so many people that would love to be closer to you, but that being friends with you is kind of a privilege. So you guys are going to hold that close to the vest. But yeah, people are very intrigued by you guys. They are intimidated, but it's mostly very positive stuff and respect for your intelligence and how you carry yourself with such dignity, and yeah, with knowledge of kind of like your self-worth. So I really hope it resonated. Pile 2, let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing your stories, your thoughts, your opinions. So let me know, and also make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys want to see more videos, make sure to subscribe. And also, if you want to see even more, you can check out my Patreon, link in my bio. So I post lots of videos over there that you guys vote for and decide which you want me to post about. So check that out if you want to. And I will be back very soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, so if you guys picked this loaf of bread, this is going to be your reading. It has a ton of sesame seeds and caraway seeds and different seeds on the top. It looks super good, perfect for tearing up with some salted butter and eating, or just making a sandwich with. But anyway, let's get into your cards. We got 7 of Cups, the Chariot, 5 of Wands, King of Wands, Justice, and 6 of Swords. So a lot of really strong energy coming through with this pile. I feel like people say about you that you're not one necessarily to be messed with, because I feel like you guys will kind of dispense karma, or you may just come off as someone that you might not try to dispense karma. You might not be like, I'm gonna get revenge, but your spirit guides look out for you. But I feel like there's people who are intimidated by you and kind of know not to mess with you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys would be good arguers, and when you put your mind to something, you're unstoppable. And I feel like that's something people say about you, that you're strong-willed, or that you're not one to mess with, or that also with King of Wands, you guys might come off as very attractive. You might have a lot of admirers and have a lot of people that are interested in dating you or being with you. But I feel that it's like you come in hot. You know what I mean? You are not someone who's just kind of mediocre about something, or like, I don't really know, but whatever, I'll just go with the flow. Like, you guys are kind of like that mood maker. Like, when you put your mind to something, you put in so much energy. You guys just kind of like attack, and it's like you are unstoppable. When you decide you want to do something, it's like stand back and make way, because they are coming through. So I feel like a lot of you guys, you might be destined for success or a lot of money, or you might come off and that way, and people might say, that they're, oh, I can just tell they're going to be successful, or like, oh, they're the star of the show. I also feel like people make jokes about your temper. Like, I think people find it endearing, because some of you guys are kind of hot tempered, and it's like you will go off about a situation. Like, you are not the one to just stay quiet and meek and like let someone mess with you. So it's like, if you get passionate about something, like, you will like maybe go on a rant or something. Like, it probably also, some of you guys probably feel strongly for things in the positive. Like, you don't just get mad or offended. You also will be like, I am the #1 fan of like this person, and don't ever talk about them in front of me, and how dare you say that. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys, I'm getting the vibe of like Nicki Minaj fans, like they're barbs. Like, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are barbs, but it just feels like you guys, I know people will not mess with Nicki Minaj on social media, because they're like, their fans will come after us. And some of you guys may have something you care about to that extent, or if it's not like anything having to do with celebrity or anything like that, it might just be like your friends. Like, you guys are so protective of them, and you're that person that will like gas up your friends on social media and post like a bunch of heart eye emojis under their selfies, or be like, oh my god, girl, you look so good today, you look amazing. Like, I feel like you guys just bring a lot of enthusiasm. There's like an energy here that, I feel like I'm hearing that quote from Kesha's song where she says, "The party don't stop till I walk in." I think it's TikTok. And you know, that's kind of the case for you guys. Like I feel like when you enter into the party starts. Everyone starts having fun. If it was boring before, it's not going to be boring anymore. It's going to be energy, it's going to be vibe. I also feel like some of you guys dress in like eye-catching or avant-garde ways. Like I'm looking at this girl's outfit and like it's honestly pretty cute. I never really noticed it before, but they really went all out on the chariot card with her outfit, and they didn't really have to do that because like it's not even, that's not on the original card, that outfit. And I feel like, yeah, you guys might have a really like cool sense of style, or you know, people are like, oh, it's a casual party, and you show up dressed like that. You show up in a gold gown, you're like, no, not casual anymore. So yeah, people are, you know, I feel like there's almost a bougie quality to you, and people might say that, but it seems like you have more fans than haters, because again, people are intimidated by you anyway. So even if they are a hater, they'll keep it to themselves. They'll kind of keep quiet about it. They're not going to say that openly because they know your friends would be like, "Excuse me? I'm telling her you said that." Like, and they'd be like, "No, please don't," because you guys are that person that people are a little intimidated by. But you actually have such a beautiful heart that I think most people can tell. And I think most people know you mean well. So even if they're like, "Oh, whatever, I don't agree with you, like I'm not a fan of this person," or whatever, they still respect how much energy and enthusiasm you guys bring to it. So even if they're like, well, I'm not a part of that fan base, they still love to see that light in your eyes, that fire in your eyes when you're talking about something. I feel like some of you guys, it's almost like you might have your head in the clouds sometimes. Not that you're like dreamy to the point of being like chilled out sensitive, but like I feel like you guys, you have a lot of big dreams that you think about. You are very creative, and you know, fire energy is actually very, very creative. Sometimes we stereotype creativity as only relating to cup energy, but fire energy is actually super, super creative. And I feel like a lot of you guys might have creative projects or endeavors, or you know, you might like to dance or do photography or sing or something. I feel like a lot of you guys are just naturally in the limelight. Like people are just drawn to you guys. People might just find themselves curious about you even before you've even said a word. I feel like a lot of people's eyes go to you and people know you. Like I feel like there are a lot of people talking about you because people know who you are. I'm hearing that a lot of people know your name, or that people have you on your name on their lips. So I feel like people ask about you. People want to know about you. And even if you're just like in a small town or a small school, you're like known within that. You don't necessarily have to have, you know, a huge Instagram or a huge YouTube or a huge social media presence, although some of you guys might have that. But within your circle and like in your town, people know you. You're known. You're like a celebrity within your group. So we also got new moon in Leo. Speaking of, new moon in Virgo, trust all will be well. First quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self. And last quarter moon in Cancer, take a breather. So this is definitely Leo energy. You guys definitely are coming off as someone who is for sure like the center of attention, and so many people respect you guys. I feel like so many people just, yeah, they kind of just want to know you. And I feel like if they don't personally haven't gotten to know you, they know your name, they know of you. Whether or not they get the privilege of actually meeting you is a different story, but a lot of people would like to know you. A lot of people will just have noticed you, even if you guys are going about your business and just like walking your dog. I feel like people would say to you, like, I've seen you around, or like, oh yeah, you live in this neighborhood, right? Like, and you're like, well, how do you even know me? I never saw you before in my life. But they kind of saw you from a distance. I feel like a lot of you guys are just the center of attention. No matter where you go, you just attract attention. People just want to look at you. They want to know more about you, and they find you to be very intriguing. So we also got the Chariot card, which is ruled by Cancer, and then we have Cancer right down here. So I feel like some of you guys may give off a Cancer vibe, or maybe Cancers yourselves or have that in your chart. But you know, Cancer is mother moon energy, and so a lot of you guys exude that. Like I feel like a lot of you guys are protective of the people in your circle, kind of like a Cancer or a mother would be. So you guys, I feel, have friends that like really rely on you, and like you guys will be that mama bear where if they mess with your friends, they're messing messing with you, and you are going to set them straight. And they might think your friend is a pushover, but it's like, wait until I come in, because people better not come for your friends, because you guys are so protective. And with the Five of Wands, you guys have the power to like put them in their place really hard and really strong. So the other astrology coming through in the major arcana that we got is Venus for Justice card and Libra energy as well. So again, like I mentioned, you guys are very attractive. You guys exude an attractive quality and probably dress attractively and have a cool sense of style. Like I feel like a lot of people are super drawn to you guys and think the way you dress or the way you carry yourself is super, super attractive. And then we have a lot of earth energy coming in with Virgo and Capricorn. So you guys are also down to earth. Like I said, your energy is not head in the clouds, like you are just kind of out of it in like a watery sense, where sometimes they can be like, oh, I forgot where my keys are. Oh, I didn't know I had to file taxes. Oh, I didn't know that you called me 50 times, you know, like that's kind of watery energy. And you guys have your head in the clouds in the terms of being very creative, but you're also very rooted on this earth. You guys definitely take care of your expectations. And I feel like you guys are reliable. I feel like people kind of know they can depend on you. And you guys might be that kind of go-to friend that people are like, hey, can you cover me at work? Or oh my God, I forgot to pick up my kid from daycare. Can you run over and grab them? Or like, I know this is last minute, but I have to bake 50 cookies before next week. Can you help me? Can you come over? Like they know they can depend on you about different things. They know that you guys are reliable and you guys will get stuff done. It says trust all will be well, and people can trust that from you. They know that you guys are managing your ish correctly and that you guys are going to also look out for others with unleash your kindest self. You guys don't just direct your kind of kindness towards art and like ethereal ways. You really have it rooted on this planet in the earth dimensions, where you guys are actually going to actively help people out. You're not just sending good vibes their way, which can be super powerful, but you guys are actually that person that will like pick someone up and drive out of your way to get them, or will, you know, give someone money or help them with their business. So like you guys are so active. I think that's something I love about you guys, is you guys don't just think about things, you actually do them. You're like a doer. You're not just going to think and ruminate and be like, well, I guess I should do that. That would be cool. But you actually are very active in your life. And I think that's honestly a rare quality. I feel like a lot of people, you know, they might have good intentions, but they don't act on them. And you guys are so the opposite. So a lot of people rely on you. And I feel like they would give your name out as like, oh, you need help with that? Okay, call this person. So people are aware of this quality of yours. And it's like, I feel like your boss and other people around you, they just know they can depend on you. Sometimes that might happen too much where you're like, excuse me, I'm actually on my break. Like, why do you guys always call me in off my break? But it's because they know they can depend on you and that you guys will have their back no matter what. So we also got Crown Games, Right Use of Power, Natcaster, Preparations Come to Fruition, Perfect Storm, the courage to step into life, and Feast of Plenty, Choices and their consequences. So I feel like a lot of you guys have a vibe of someone who is going to be extremely wealthy or who is already there. I feel like a lot of this has to do with your work ethic. I feel like a lot of people say that you work super hard. Some of you guys may have had multiple jobs at one time or even currently, but it seems like you guys might have multiple streams of income, or you just project that vibe and that energy of someone who is willing to go the extra mile, who is willing to put in whatever work they have to do. You guys aren't afraid of rolling up your sleeves and putting in the hard work, and people know they can depend on you. People know that you guys are very, I don't want to say type A, but I do feel like a lot of you guys might be very organized, or might just be someone that just works so hard, even if you're disorganized, that it doesn't matter. It's like, you know, if you say you're getting something done, you're going to do it. And your word is your bond, and they know they can trust you. You don't play games. You don't say like, I'll get it done. I didn't really feel like it. You really, people know they can believe you. And I feel like that just adds so much trust. And so people really respect you because of that. But I also feel like, yeah, so you guys come off as someone who either already has money or is well on the way to earning a lot of money. And, someone who has the potential to really succeed in life and really like be something big. I feel like some of you guys might be business owners, or you might have a side hustle that really turns into something huge. But I feel like people can see this potential with you, that you guys you know, you're on your way to something big. You're on your way to really having a lot of abundance if you're not there already. Because I really feel like some of you guys, you've been at this kind of lifestyle for a while where you have been putting in the work at work and staying late and not afraid to put in extra hours. And you come off as someone who just is already making a lot of money because you've already worked so hard and done so well. And a lot of that has already happened. But I also feel like you guys are on track for even more abundance and even more wealth. But one thing I really love about you guys is you have a ton of courage and bravery, and you're not one of those people that's like afraid to experience life or always holding themselves back and being like, oh, I can't really do that. I'm kind of scared, or like I was really stressed, so I didn't do it, or, you know, like nothing wrong with it, but like, oh, I have anxiety, I can't go or something. And again, I'm not judging at all. I totally know anxiety is a really real and debilitating thing. But I just feel like you guys have this deep courage where even if you have anxiety, you push past it. You're not going to let it hold you back. You're still going to be very present, which I think is such a wise idea, because the thing is like we only get one life. And so we might as well spend it fully immersed and engaged and like really, you know, I'm seeing someone like, you know, standing on the edge of the waves because they're like scared of getting in the ocean, and someone like right in the deep end, like playing around, swimming, unafraid, having fun. And that's you guys. You guys are that person that dives right in and doesn't hold yourself back. And I feel like that really is going to be one of the reasons why you have so many blessings, is because you guys, you just engage. You're like a person that says yes. I can feel your energy too. You have a lot of natural energy. You guys are like natural caffeine is what I'm hearing. So I feel like people say that. It's almost like people might be like, oh, wait, did you invite like Sarah to the party? And it's like, they, you know, if they say no, they're like, I don't know if I want to go then. Sorry. You know, they might not say that, but they might be like, oh, well, she's not coming. Well, anyway, I think I'm a little busy actually. I can't go. But, you know, if you're there, they'll be like, yeah, I'll come. I'll find a way, because you guys honestly are so much fun and you give off a royal and regal vibe. Maybe you were royalty in a past life or in another dimension or something, but it's Leo energy coming through again, of that royalty energy and that regal energy that you guys carry around with you, where you know your worth. And you're also, I think, also with the Six of Swords, willing to leave that behind. If a situation doesn't serve you, you are not going to stay in a situation because you truly realize your own worth. And so if it's not working, it's not working, and you're on to the next. And I think people really respect that about you, and it makes them value your time even more, because they know also, I'm hearing, once you guys cut someone off, you cut them off, and people can tell that. They might have had people in your life that you have cut off publicly, and people are like, wait, I thought you were best friends with Mark. And you're like, no, I don't talk to him anymore or something. And I feel like people know, it's like, oh, that they have to appreciate your presence, because you make it known that if they really stab you in the back, because I do feel like you guys are very patient and it takes a lot for you to reach that point where you're like, I'm done. But once you're done, you're done. And people know that or have seen you do that. So they value your time. They're not going to waste your time as much as they may waste someone else's. So we also got walking away, which is basically what I was talking about. Happy family, the world's door to personal healing and happiness, and man holding a coin. So yeah, like I was saying, if you guys want to walk away, you'll walk away. Nothing's going to hold you back. I do feel like with happy family, some of you guys may have come from happy families, or if you didn't come from happy families, I still feel like a lot of you guys were like the rock in your family. I feel like a lot of you guys brought so much energy to your family and might have even held things together. Like if you did come from a rocky family, maybe you were that, you know, child that like your parents just really depended on. And I feel like maybe for some of you guys, that was one of your sole purposes, was to be this like tent pole to your family, holding it all up. But I also feel like for a lot of you guys, that will be something that happens in your future. You just come off as someone that has such a positive vibe and attracts such a positive energy around you, that you will be a really good parent and you will create a really happy family and really happy kids, because you're so energetic. You would be like PTA mom or something, you know, or like soccer dad who's always taking the kids around and always has a smile on their face and is like so enthusiastic, that I feel like you just come off as someone who would make a great parent. And again, we did get Cancer energy, so you guys probably are naturally good mothers and parents and just take care of the people around you, which obviously is going to translate into being a great parent and having a happy family. I feel like with the world, some of you guys, you might be from a different culture than the place you live around, where there might be a dominant culture in that area and you're like not that type, or you just might be really well traveled. I also feel like your world is your oyster. The world is your oyster. And again, this energy of wealth coming through with man holding a coin and the world, you might come off as someone who's well traveled, or just someone where you guys will be well traveled in the future due to this financial success. You guys come off as someone who has endless potential to achieve whatever they want. I feel like a lot of this has to do with your boundless natural energy and enthusiasm, that if you say you're going to do something, you do it on 10. You don't do it on 5. You don't kind of do it halfway. You don't like, oh, I guess I can do it, but I don't really have time, but I can try to fit it in last minute. Like, you're committed. Once you're committed, you're committed. So people just see this as you guys have the potential to achieve whatever you want. Like, I feel like you guys would be that person that's voted like most likely to succeed, or like, future CEO in like high school superlatives, or future star or future celebrity or something. I just feel like a lot of people just see you as someone who has such a potential to do whatever it is you want. And yeah, a lot of you guys are going to step through this door, which is my favorite card in all the decks, to just so much success and happiness and beauty. So people see that on your energy field. So we also got new beginnings, well-being, beauty, happiness, and inspiration. So again, with the beauty coming in, you guys must be very attractive. I don't know what this is, but you guys must be like the little charmers of my piles, because beauty has come in many times. So again, people are drawn to your physical appearance. I feel like some of you guys, you really maintain yourselves really well. You might do your hair. I mean, there's some really gorgeously beautiful hair on that. You might maintain, this woman also has kind of a gorgeous curvy body, and you might do things to maintain your body at a certain, kind of form, or you might work out a lot, or you might keep yourself with your curves. I feel like you guys do stuff to really enhance your beauty, and you guys really, it has a great effect. Like, it's working. Whatever you guys are doing, people see you as so attractive, and I feel like you put time and effort into it, which exudes this kind of Venus energy that we were picking up on earlier, because you guys are that type to like use a face mask and take a relaxing bubble bath and really kind of pamper yourself. So I feel like people have a lot of, like, they can tell that it's almost like you're well taken care of by yourself. This might also contribute to this wealth energy, where people just might assume like, oh, they have a sugar daddy, or oh, someone's taking care of them. But it's like, no, I'm taking care of myself. I feel like it's funny because you guys come off as having so much natural energy, but I also see you guys kind of chilling and taking time to yourself to pamper yourselves. And so, people might not imagine, because you're so energetic, that you actually do spend time like in the bath, or, doing a face mask with like cucumbers over your eyes. But you do take that time to maintain yourselves and to make sure that everything is super on point for you guys. You look after your well-being. Some of you guys might have health regimens where you guys might be drinking, green juices or smoothies, or doing, keto or a certain type of diet. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of you guys you're well taken care of. You take care of yourself. I feel like some of you guys might be muses or inspirations for people. So people might have, written a song about you, or written a story about you, or you just kind of click in their mind as like, that person's so inspiring. Yeah, and I do feel like with new beginnings, a lot of you guys seem destined for something big. I've said this a few times, but I really feel like people can just tell that you're that type of person that would end up like going to Italy and then getting swept off their feet by a gorgeous Italian man. And next thing they know, you're posting all over Instagram about like, I moved to Italy and I'm married to an Italian prince. And they're like, what the heck? How did this person make this happen? Like, this is real life, not a Hallmark movie. What is going on? But you guys are that person that if it's going to happen to anyone, it's going to happen to you, because you have this natural vivaciousness to you, and people are just so drawn to you, and honestly a natural sex appeal. I'm kind of getting Mars aspecting the ascendant vibes, which I see in so many sex symbols. They all seem to have Mars aspecting the ascendant, or Mars aspecting the sun, and that gives, so Mars rules over sex, and I feel like you guys just give this like Marilyn Monroe quality of like a natural sex appeal that is very easily accessible and people pick up on it when they meet you. It's not hidden away, buried in your chart. It's right there for everyone to see that you guys are beautiful and you inspire this like passion in people. So I also feel like with happiness, you guys tend to be upbeat, positive, optimistic, energetic, and have so much enthusiasm about you. And so it's really infectious to the people around you. Like you're not just going to be that person that's like, oh, you gave me this present. Oh, thanks. Yeah. That's cool. Well, okay, anyway. Like you're gonna be like, oh my God, you got me a present. Thank you. I'm so happy. Yay. And that rubs off on people. That's why I said you guys are an energy maker. You set the energy for the room. You are a mood maker. It's like, like in Twilight, that guy Jasper, and he could change the mood and the emotions of people around them. That's like you, but you always do it positively. Like you get that party started, you get things going, you get it flowing. And so yeah, that rubs off on people. Like I feel that you can break people out of their shell who are shy, and people might say that about you, like, oh, I'm too nervous to talk to him. Okay, send over Jessica. She'll go talk to him. She'll break the ice. She'll bring him over here, and you're that person that will go over, and you'll just be the one to be like, "Hi, I'm Jessica. It's so nice to meet you. Okay, my friend has a crush on you. You need to go talk to her. Like, I promise y'all are gonna get along. She's really cute. Like, you just know how to handle yourself." And I feel like people that would normally be uncomfortable or be nervous or be shaky or like anxious, you have a great way of diffusing that and just making them feel really positive and making them feel excited. So yeah, so we also got Sun Dancers, joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance, Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding, the Word Lord, communication, praise, dishonesty, and the Desert Prince, survival, false promises. So I feel like, again, you guys, you're very generous with the people around you, and people see you as someone who is going to have a lot of abundance and a lot of success in your life. There's like a celebratory, happy, excited vibe around you. And I also feel like some of you guys, you have been through difficult situations. And that's why some of you guys, not everyone, but some of you guys have this survival energy where you're willing to do whatever it takes to survive. You always keep a positive mindset because you realize how vital and important that is. And people might think like, oh, they're just smiling all the time because they have no problems. And it's like, no, I'm smiling because I understand energetic alchemy, and I understand that in order to diffuse negative energy, I have to be positive. So I'm going to be positive and bring the positivity in for everyone. And so I feel that there's a lot of people, yeah, they might misjudge you and think like, oh, they're superficial, or they don't understand what's going on. They only care about themselves or something. And it's like they could not be more wrong. They don't know what's happening. You guys are actually doing this almost like as a public service to others. You guys have a way of taking the negative and turning it into a positive. And it's not because you just have had this super happy life where everything was dropped in your lap and like, la, 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 nothing bad's happening. It's actually that some of you guys have had to go through a lot and have had your heart broken, and you never want anyone else to feel that pain. And so you guys have decided to live positively. I'm hearing that quote. I think it's Martin Luther King Jr., but I could be wrong. But it's like, I have decided on love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. And that's kind of like you guys. Like you guys made a choice to decide on positivity because negativity was too much of a burden to bear. It doesn't mean that you never saw the negativity or you just blew past it or you were just like, huh, what's going on? You knew what was going on, but you decided to be positive and uplift others. And that's why people are so drawn to you. And that's why you guys get to be the star and are probably going to be blessed with a lot of abundance and wealth in the future. I also feel like you guys are, good communicators. I do feel like, what I'm getting, some of you guys do have haters, and those haters would say something like, oh, they're not honest, or they're fake, or they never say the truth, or like, they're just, they're in la la land. They're not being real. But the reality is actually you guys are very real. Like I said, you know what's going on. You just choose to try to be positive and upbeat about things. I feel like you guys don't have as many haters as other people. But I do feel like when you do have haters, they might say that you're fake, or they might say that you're like queen bee, like, oh, she's so popular, like, everything comes easily to her. And they don't realize that that's not the case. And you guys literally would give the shirt off your back to people. You're so kind and so nice. And people are judging you sometimes by appearance because of jealousy and because you guys are attractive. So they might think you were spoiled or pampered or everything came easily. But again, not the case. But that's what some of the haters would say. But I do feel like most of the people around you just see your beauty and they love it. They support you. They are rooting for you. They see how much you add to this world and they have nothing but joy and positivity in their heart for you. So we also got uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty, joy and delight. Open your heart to joy and grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. So I feel like you guys naturally are very grateful type of people, and you're naturally doing a form of energetic alchemy where you are diffusing the bad and filtering it out and turning that same bad into good. So your grateful attitude where you try to find joy in everything that happens in life, it just compounds on itself. It brings you in more. Some people, they have to study like metaphysics and spiritual texts for a long time to figure this principle out, that joy at any energy compounds on itself. So sadness compounds on itself, joy does, but you guys figured that out real early. And so you have decided to be very joyful. And that's maybe why you guys are going to attract so much success. But people love your infectious energy. I feel like you're that type of person that would just randomly go in the middle of the day to get like frozen yogurt and be like, oh, it's my favorite flavor, or randomly decide to fill your house with like, I'm seeing like, what are those little bears from like back in the day that had like the multicolors? Like way back in the day, Care Bears, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, you see a Care Bear pillow at Target and you buy it because it makes you happy, or you have something from your childhood and you buy it that makes you happy, or you decide to bake cookies. You see the joy and the delight in life, and that's what is so infectious. It's almost like being around a kid. You never lost your kid-like energy. So I feel like, someone who's a very boring, dry kind of person, they might just find like life is so exciting with you because you open their eyes to like, wow, that sunset's really beautiful, or like, wow, I love this song, and you just have so much positivity. So again, with this emphasis on money coming out, you guys really must be, I don't know, making money, or it's destined. But we don't need to go over that again. But yeah, like, okay, money coming through again. And same, I mean, these cards are all like same message. Ladder, climbing towards success. So we got it. Successful. Pin, new job, career. Angel, spiritual guidance, protection from harm. V, victory in some endeavor. Might also stand for Aries. This would be an Aries vibe. Firecracker, excitement. Bowl, plenty of material things. Fan, romance, celebration, party. Sun, happiness and well-being. Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So much success energy. Like, I don't think I've ever seen so much positive only cards come out from these, because it's a really well-balanced deck. I didn't even know there were so many positive cards in this deck, but you guys got all positive and a lot of fire energy as well. Firecracker, Sun, V, which is, to me, I mean, it just looks exactly like the Aries symbol. So Aries, we got Leo here, and Sagittarius could be as well, the other fire sign. But yeah, you guys have such fire, invigorated, exciting, enthusiastic energy that you bring to things. I feel like there's never a dull moment with you guys. I feel like people say that about you. I feel like people just say that you're really fun, that you're really exciting to be around, that you always have something going on, and like, wow, they can see you're going to be successful. You guys mostly have a lot of fans around you. And one thing I also love about you guys, and then I'll wrap this up because I don't want to go on too long, but I feel like you guys also have a lot of romance in your life. And I don't just mean like relationships. I feel like you guys, you see the romance in everything. You see the joy in everything. You see the love and the beauty in everything. Like I said, if you stop to get froyo, you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love this flavor. It tastes so good. Or if you see a certain type, like a song comes on, you're like you take the time to dance to it. You take the time to have fun. You take the time to celebrate, because romance and Venus energy and falling in love with life, that's a vibe. It doesn't just have to do with love. It has to do with everything. Getting in that energy of being joyful and loving things and being surrounded by things that make you happy and joyful. That's a vibe. And I feel like you guys figured that out. And a luxury. I feel like you guys have a lot of luxury around you. And I feel like you guys are an earth angel, basically. The work you're doing is very spiritually important. Never let anyone tell you that what you're doing is frivolous, or like you don't really get things, or like you're not, yeah, I mean, I guess that froyo tastes good, but like calm down because it's not that big a deal. No, it is a big deal. Every component in second life is a big deal, and you guys figured that out. You're not just letting life pass you by, you're like actively engaged in it. And I feel like this is angel work. You guys are bringing joy and happiness and high vibration energy to everyone. So this is so important. It's so special. Never let anyone make you feel bad about this. And you guys are a truly beautiful energy. And now I don't need any more coffee. I feel invigorated now just tuning in. So thank you guys for that. So pile 3, I hope it resonated. Let me know in the comments if it did. I love hearing your stories and thoughts and reactions. So let me know, and make sure to give it a big thumbs up if it resonated. And I will be back very soon for another reading. So make sure to subscribe. And if you also want to see more readings, check out my Patreon, where I have viewer voted on readings being posted. So make sure to check that out, you guys. And I will be back very soon for another reading. Sending you guys so much love and light. Have an amazing day, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 4. So if you guys picked this loaf of bread, this is going to be your reading. So to me, this looks like a giant bagel, although I am gluten-free and was never really a bread person before. So this could be something else, and I just have no idea. If you guys know what this is, you can let me know in the comments, but it looks really tasty. I'm sure it would be great with butter, salted butter. I mean, everything's good with that, but maybe it's some sugar on the sides. It looks like it could be kind of sweet, but anyway, I have no clue, but it looks really good. But anyway, let's get into your reading, guys. You guys got 6 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, Knight of Cups, King of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, 5 of Cups, and the Devil card. So I feel like, first of all, there's so many charms coming through with the Knight of Cups. You guys are very charming. People find you, I feel, to be kind of flirty and like have a way with words. With the Queen of Swords, I feel like you guys are that person that you kind of know what to say. You're well spoken. You're not, I feel like people don't say about you that you're awkward or anything. If anything, I feel people see you as pretty suave and very well spoken. I feel like people would consider you, a good person to kind of bring to the dinner table at like a family dinner, or to meet their parents. Like people might say that about you, like, oh, you make such a great impression on my parents, or like, I know I can take you to this fancy kind of function. I know you'll make a good impression. Because I feel like you guys, there's a dignity around you. You guys know how to handle yourself. It's like a lot of you guys, even if you didn't grow up around money or around a certain social crowd, you can fit in. You have good manners, you have social intelligence in that way, and a lot of you guys have a good vocabulary and you're well spoken. So a lot of people may think that you're from a higher or wealthier social class than you're from. With the King of Pentacles, I feel like there's a vibe around you of like luxury, or this person has some money, or this person is from a certain social standing that's like higher up on the totem pole. And some of you guys may even, people might assume or say about you like, oh, well, they have really wealthy parents. They get money from their parents with the 6 of Pentacles. They have a trust fund. That may or may not be true, but I feel like people are just assuming that based on how you carry yourself and kind of the level of dignity. I'm seeing Grace Kelly in my mind. So some of you guys have a naturally kind of royal, regal air about yourselves, where you just come off like you have good manners, or like you have been to the best of the best kind of social events, and you grew up with a lot of money and with a lot of good manners. Like I'm seeing like, like a Southern Belle debuting or something, like, I don't know what it's called, cotillion or whatever, where they wear white gowns and have a debut. That's the vibe. Like I feel like you guys just come off. I'm also hearing erudite. So I feel like you guys seem like someone who's just well spoken. large vocabulary, probably well educated. People might assume like, oh, they went to private school, or like their parents just bought them everything. And that might not be the case, but it may be the case for some of you. You might be like, yep, check, check, check. But I feel like, yeah, there's like a bougie vibe around you where people are just thinking that, you know, maybe you had a lot of stuff handed to you, and some people might take that as a negative. They might try to see the negativity in that rather than the positive, and they might throw that at you as a bad thing, as like, oh my gosh, well, you're just spoiled. But I mean, that has nothing to do with it. We do pick our parents on the other side, but not in this lifetime. So you can't control if you have wealthy parents or whatever. And I feel like, honestly, this is an advantage in a lot of social situations, because I feel like people talk about you as like, maybe a little bit of a snob, to be honest. Sometimes that's the downside. But I feel like most people talk about you as like, oh yeah, they're really smart, or they're really well spoken, or like, don't they just have, like, they might not even say this out loud, but they're thinking like, oh, they carry themselves really well. They have a lot of grace. Like, I feel like you guys just come off as smart and intelligent. No matter what social situation you're in, you are not going to be that person that just randomly says, like, I mean, obviously everyone once in a while says something awkward, especially with this Mercury retrograde happening, or says something a little over the top, but most of the time, you guys are very graceful in how you speak, and you have a lot of diplomacy. I could see some of you guys being ambassadors or diplomats, because I feel like you know how to handle difficult situations. You might be that person that, like, you know how sometimes like during class in school there would be like a substitute teacher or just a teacher, and people are like, hey, like, let's ask them if we can like watch a movie today or something, and everyone's like, no, you ask. And I feel like they would like appoint you, or they would like be like I don't know, like, Jennifer, you go up, just ask them, you're good at this, go talk to them. Or like if you guys get like denied entry to a bar or a nightclub, that they would like prod you to go up and be like, go ask, just talk to him, just say something, you're good, you can talk your way in, come on. Like, you guys, I just feel like, are almost smooth talkers, or you really know how to handle yourselves, and people respect the heck out of that. People really see how you guys have that as a major advantage in your life. Honestly, some of you guys might also have very pleasant voices. Like, the way you speak comes off very beautiful, very attractive. And so I feel like, yeah, people are kind of, some people are in awe of this. I do feel like some people resent it, but there's just a smoothness to you guys. I turned on the light so you guys could see a little bit better, because it's getting dark so early now. But yeah, let's talk about some of the negative cards. You guys also got the 10 of Swords, as well as the 5 of Cups and the Devil. So I also feel like for some of you guys have been through a lot. I'm really feeling like for some of you guys, you might have had overbearing parents, and they might have even used finances as leverage against you. It might have been something like, either you do what I say, or I'm not paying for college. Either you major in what I want, or I'm not going to pay for your college degree, or, you know, still tying you into the family business as an adult, or you having that trust fund or getting money from them, and them not treating you well during that process and using that as a way to control you guys. Maybe for some of you guys, you had a perfectly happy family, but it does seem like for a lot of you guys, you left behind a difficult situation and put an end to it. Like, I feel like you guys carry an energy around you that you've left something behind, and you kind of put your foot down, but there might be like an air of sorrow around you. Sorrow is what I was saying. I think Mercury being in Aquarius is kind of messing up my speech, but yeah, there might be a sadness around you, or like, not active sadness, but like, oh wow, I feel like they've been through something. Like, people might just be able to tell that, you know, you're a survivor, you've been through it, and you are still here on the other side fighting. And you guys, I feel like, again, you have such a dignity to you, and I think that's honestly a large part of it, even though it may not seem like something you actively want to cultivate. I feel like you guys have a vibe that you guys have been through something important, or like very consuming, and it's like people respect you because of that. I feel like it adds a lot of complexity to you. You don't come off as someone who's just perfectly youthful and never been through stuff. People can see a kind of depth in your eyes, that there's been something you guys have tried, and maybe failed at, or just something that has been very trying for you guys. I also feel like for some of you guys, since this is a what people are saying about me reading, we could be getting this energy popping up because this person might be talking about you actively and kind of trying to smear your reputation. So I'm not trying to freak you guys out, because I honestly do believe that with these cards being right in the center of this reading, it's almost like a message that these are the other energies and this is you at the heart of it. And these are such strong cards. It's like they might be trying to bring you down and spread bad rumors, but I honestly think with the dignity you guys carry yourselves with, it's impossible. And for some of you guys, you might have cultivated this dignity as a result of this. You might have always been used to having parents that were kind of trifling and trying to bring you down, and you always knew that. So you always knew you had to be like super on point and really speak well, and that you had to really make sure that everything you said was perfect. But it's like it strengthened you. I feel like for a lot of you guys, or maybe this is like an ex that would gaslight you or would tell rumors about you, and you knew that like maybe they would say like, oh, they're so emotional, they're crazy. So you developed your emotions to be very steely and very tough, and so that you're not the type to ever fly off the handle. I don't know, but it seems like ultimately there's such dignity about you that it's unshakable. They can spread all these rumors, but I feel like regardless of what they say, they could say that, you're too emotional or that like you're crazy, but I feel like people are kind of like, huh, that's interesting. Well, I really just don't get that vibe. I don't know. I know he said his ex-girlfriend was totally crazy, but every time I met her, she was just lovely and so smart. So I don't know. And of course, there's always going to be some people that believe that, but a lot of people are going to just consider the source. That's what my grandmother used to always tell me, is consider the source, AKA, and it's kind of like, it's kind of catty to say that, but it's like, if someone is very chaotic and they're constantly telling you stuff about like, this person's bad, that person's bad, but their life is full of chaos, you're going to be like, really? Well, what about you? And so I feel like even though these people may be lying on you or this person, there's this inner resiliency that just can't be defeated. And a lot of people, again, may be jealous of you because of that, because you guys are so charming and stuff. But let's get into more of the oracle cards. So we got last quarter moon in Libra, make time for self-love, full moon in Capricorn, take a reality check, and new moon in Taurus, know your worth. So those are two Venus energies. So again, you guys just come off as someone who has so much beauty around them. And I feel like there's so much beauty in the way you guys speak and carry yourselves. I feel like you guys just are very naturally graceful. And I feel like this is something people notice and talk about. I'm hearing people say like, she was really beautiful, or like, wow, he just was so well spoken, or I just feel like, again, there's like a beauty, like it's really just beauty is what I keep hearing. AKA, it's not even just that you did a good job, it's that there's a grace to it. There's a Venusian energy. There's something about it that just makes people think it's really pretty, like the way you guys talk or the way you look or the way your hair flows. This might have been why some of you guys were targets for what appears to me, I'm getting the vibe of like a narcissist. You might attract narcissists because they see your beauty and your potential and they want to glom onto it. And you might attract jealous people as well, even if this isn't one person. Maybe it's multiple jealous people, like you were at a workplace and there was jealous coworkers, or you were at a college and there was jealous classmates. But I feel like a lot of y'all incite jealousy because you guys are genuinely beautiful. And I mean that, like people are like, wow, their face is proportioned like really well. Their face is, and Aries does rule the face. And then we have a lot of Venus. So I really think a lot of y'all have a just gorgeous face coming in. And a lot of people are just, your face and your hair and your vibe and your energy just stays in their mind. They're like, wow. And I feel like they do talk about that with others. Like I feel like, maybe people talk to you on the phone and you're well spoken and you make a good impression and come off as highly intelligent. And so they have, an expectation when you come in of like, oh, okay, so this person's going to be really smart. And then you come in and you're really attractive. And maybe I think a lot of people have stereotypes that, to be a intelligent person, you kind of have to be a nerd. You kind of have to be not that attractive. I don't know why people think that, but I feel like when you come in and you're bringing the attractiveness too, they're kind of like, whoa. And I feel like they would mention that, like, they would say like, did you see that was that girl we've been emailing with, but did you see, like, she's so pretty. oh my God, she looks like XYZ celebrity. Like, I feel like you guys just have a really striking appearance, and people are just, it leaves a mark. People think about you afterwards and they do talk about it. Like, I also feel like for a lot of people, dating you was like a challenge back in the day. I am almost seeing like, a group of guys sitting around being like, I have a crush. I claim dibs on Rachel or something, and then the other one's like, no, I want to date her. Or like, let's see who can date her first or something. And maybe none of them could even get you, because I feel like, again, you guys comport yourselves with a lot of dignity. And if you sense the energy of like, oh, someone's trying to scheme up a date with me in like a dishonest way and trying to kind of play me, you're just gonna be out. But I still feel like a lot of people tried and wanted this to happen. They wanted to date you, and you were at the top of a lot of people's crush list. So this might be why you have this haterade energy all over you guys. But yeah, I think so many people just, it's like you guys would make a good like wife. Like, I'm seeing like a politician's wife, like Jackie Kennedy or something. Like, you guys are very dignified. I watched just like, I don't know, it came up somewhere, someone posted it, and it was the scene from Legally Blonde where he's like breaking up with her, and he says like, sweetheart, if I'm going to be the next senator, I need a Jackie, not a Marilyn. And then she's like, so I'm too blonde. But that scene is so funny. But that's kind of what's coming to mind, is like, you're like, I mean, I'm not saying like you guys could be both really, but you guys have the like appearance and the dignity and like the self-assuredness and like the kind of quiet calm about you that you would make a great like senator's wife, governor's wife, president's wife. Like, you're smart and beautiful. You have dignity. You probably dress in a dignified way. You probably, honestly, not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you probably don't like want to wear like anything low cut, or if you do, it's in a very tasteful kind of way. Like, if you dress up, you might even be showing skin, but there's some kind of grace to how you guys carry yourselves. I feel like a lot of you guys have really high standards for yourself, and more earth energy coming through with Capricorn and Taurus. So you guys are very good at kind of managing earth things, which is like money and kind of responsibilities and being down to earth and like taking care of the stuff you need to take care of. I feel like a lot of you guys, you have a good head on your shoulders. Even though you have a lot of Venus energy, you guys are also very grounded and down to earth, and kind of, how to take care of what you need to take care of. You're not just like spacey, head in the clouds. So there's a groundedness around you guys. So let's get more cards. So you guys got Lost Compass, getting back to integrity, overflow, overwhelm, and plenty, Galactic Mushroom, the Divine Matrix, and Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So I do feel like with Lost Compass, there may have been a time for some of you guys when you were dating or involved with, or somehow, yeah, involved with someone who may have taken you out of your integrity or off your life path. And a lot of you guys, it may be a family member or your family of origin that, wanted to throw you off base, and you weren't as confident, and you maybe felt very self-critical about everything you did. I feel like a lot of you guys went through a period of time when you were involved with someone, again, romantic, non-romantic, family, non-family, whatever, but someone or some things in your life really made you question every part of yourself, and you developed a lot of self-doubt. But I'm hearing from Spirit that self-doubt actually made you stronger. Not that it's a good energy to be, constantly self-critical and, ruminating over everything we do, but I feel like you did a lot of inner work during that time, and it's almost like you perfected yourself. And I feel like that's part of the reason why you carry around such dignity and decorum in everything you do, is like you were hard on yourself. And the positive silver lining of that is like you came out stronger. It's kind of like when you see footage of, someone training for the Olympics, and maybe they do like figure skating, like I don't know the terms, but like a triple axel or something, I don't know, some really hard move, and any normal person would be looking at it like, whoa, that's incredible. But the coach is like, that was absolutely horrible, and you totally messed up on the last turn, your foot went out, and you're listening and looking like, are they crazy? That was the best thing ever. But because that coach is so hard on them, they improve every day and they come into the Olympics absolutely perfect and they win the gold medal. And I'm not saying we should be self-critical with us, because there's a lot of downsides to that. But sometimes when we're like, I'm going to freaking improve and I'm going to be the best at this, and we take a really tough look at ourselves, it can make us better. And when we just, grow and force ourselves to like be uncomfortable in the moment, we can grow from that. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you might even be down on yourselves about like, why did I let that person into my life? Or that was such a loss. What a waste of time. And I guess I want to give you guys a positive message with that, because I feel like you became this powerhouse of a person you are partially because of this person's criticism. This person tried to criticize you because they wanted to bring you down. They wanted to make you doubt yourself. They wanted to take you out of your power, but you guys transmuted that and actually made it make you more aligned with your destiny and more successful and better at everything. So now you're even more of a powerhouse. So the joke is on them. They may have thought it brought you down, but it didn't. And if you're in the midst of that energy right now, don't worry, because you will get more positive as a result. So I do feel like a lot of you guys are perceived as having a lot of money and also as being overwhelmingly successful. We got Magician's Sword, which kind of is like the Ace of Swords. So that's big success energy. I feel like you guys are going to be successful in what you do. People just sense that whatever field you guys tried to enter, if you wanted to be an accountant or a movie star or I don't know, a writer or I don't know, a cook, you would be good at whatever it is, no matter what it is, because you just have that level of intelligence and grace and just je ne sais quoi about you guys, where everything you touch turns to gold. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, people just can see this success energy rooted very strongly within you. And also, you guys feel very connected to your spirit guides with the Galactic Mushroom Divine Matrix. I feel like you guys, all these things that people tried to bring you down, your spirit guides used for good, and you guys are very wise and connected to them. So that's one of the reasons it did not work. You stayed, no matter what people threw at you, very wise and very intelligent. And so you were able to transmute a lot of the darkness they sent your way into light. So we also got action, envy, door to spirit, the thinking woman, and hostility. So people see you as so dignified. Like, I love the look of this lady on this card. I don't know if y'all can see it in the light, but she just looks so dignified in her beautiful gown, which again is pretty conservative looking, and her book. So a lot of people see you as being very well read. I feel like they talk about that. Like, I feel like you guys have a lot of cultural references. You know a lot of books, you read a lot, or you listen to different types of music, and people just know you as someone who's like highly intelligent and educated and really, really smart. I also feel like we got action, and it's making me think of Aries, which is one of the cards that came through. I feel like you guys take action on things. Even though you're super smart, you don't sit around ruminating about things too much. When you set your mind to it, you really do it and you really achieve it. And there's just this really potent, like I said, success energy around you guys. This vibe that whatever you decide to do, there's no stopping you and it's guaranteed success. So I feel like a lot of people, like, they don't want to stand in your way too much because they're like, oh no, that person's going to be a big success. I also feel like this provokes a lot of envy and some hostilities in people. So again, with the devil energy and some of the other cards and those two, I feel like you guys do provoke envy in people, and people do tend to sometimes want the worst in you, and they may talk about you badly as a result. I feel like there are jealous people that get irritated by how many people have a great opinion of you and look up to you, because I do feel like people look up to you. I feel like people see you as just almost like a prize, or like someone who just has it all, like someone who just has figured out so much and is achieving so much and is just destined for success. And so then there's other people that get mad about that, and they do direct a lot of anger at you. And I feel like sometimes you guys might take that personally and be like, what's wrong with me? Or, why don't people like me? And so much of that is just because you guys are so dignified, and there is such a almost perfection energy. I'm hearing Little Miss Perfect. So there are people that are really jealous of you guys. And I know that's a horrible burden to have to bear, but I know it stinks, but take it as a compliment. And one of my favorite quotes, and if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up, because I really feel like some of you guys, you're destined for like real success, money. I really feel like some of you guys might be marrying powerful people or something, because I keep seeing, like, I don't know, the first lady or a queen of a country or something. I feel like some of you guys, you just are that vibe of like that girl that just, has everything, or that guy that just has everything, and people are like, wow, they're just destined for success. They just, you comport yourself so well, you carry yourself so well, that you're like that ideal person that everyone sees as like, they just have everything on point in their life. So yeah, I'm not surprised people are really jealous of you, but I know it stinks. Take it as a compliment. We got fertility, prosperity, inspiration, home, and financial health. So if you guys don't already have a really beautiful home, I feel like you guys will. I feel like some of you guys already do, even if it's like an apartment. I feel like you guys would decorate it really beautifully. Again, a lot of that Venus energy coming in. So a lot of you guys might have a prominent Venus. You could have Venus in exaltation in Pisces, or Venus conjunct the sun or ascendant, or conjunct Jupiter, or aspecting any of those planets. Yeah, it just seems like you guys have a very strong success energy and a very strong Venus coming through. And I feel like you have a natural knack, or Venus conjunct the moon, because you have a natural knack for decorating. You guys have an idea of exactly how to turn a house into a home, exactly what kind of art to put on the walls, and probably where to find it so it's not even that expensive. Or maybe you have the money and you're willing to spend, thousands on a painting or something. But even if you guys are broke, I feel like you would know exactly how to decorate so it looks gorgeous. And I feel like you guys have a very distinctive sense of style. A lot of you guys, you might even do things that other people might not think of, or it might be outside the norm, or they might be like, oh, like, that's an interesting decorating style, but like, it's so beautiful that the way you put it together, it's so distinctly you that no one else could do it that way. And even if they're like, oh, I don't like that kind of style, before they come in, they're like, wow, this is gorgeous. So you guys just have such a knack for that. And I do feel like I just keep getting, some of you guys are going to be married to very powerful or wealthy people, and they might give you a decorating budget. Or if you are a divine masculine listening to this, maybe you will have a wife who's like this, or you decorate your house in a beautiful way, even though it might not be that feminine in style. You might have a knack for putting together a gorgeous bachelor pad kind of vibe. But yeah, your money situation is coming through really strong. Again, prosperity and financial health. So people are saying about you that you guys are well off, and that you have a lot of money, and that you guys are probably destined for even more. I do feel like you guys are inspiring or amused to certain people. People may, write a book about you or write a song about you. They might not even tell you ever that they did that, but you might be like, just not aware that you are inspiring for so many. Because I feel like a lot of you guys, it's almost like the spotlight has always been on you in your life, but you haven't sought it out. You're not someone who necessarily wants to be the center of attention. You just always have been. It's almost like you're reluctant, like, I guess I'm beautiful, but everyone else is like, girl, you're gorgeous. Hello. Like, you're gorgeous, but you guys sometimes it might run away from that, or be like, I don't want the attention, but it's like, sorry, it's your birthright, you're getting it anyway. And so again, that might be why the jealousy comes in. So with fertility, I feel like for all my feminines in this pile, you guys give off a super divine feminine vibe. And again, what I was talking about is whether you're masculine or feminine, there's so much potential with you, because fertility as a card can talk all about potentiality and what's going to happen in the future, and someone just having, because when you're about to give birth, you have all this potential inside of you of the future baby, right? And so even if you're not applying that towards like an actual literal human, we can apply that towards like a business or a creative project. And I feel like you just seem, like I mentioned before, unstoppable. Like, wow, this person's heading straight to the top. Anything they put their hand on turns to gold. So we also got the chess queen, trust, strategizing, queen of the light, illumination, enlightenment, celebration, the winged wise one, angelic help, miraculous aid, the river queen, flow, letting go, natural movement, keeper of the scales, fairness, and balance. So I feel like honestly for some of you guys, you might come off as a little bit of an ice queen at first, not in a bad way, but I almost feel like you guys might be reserved, or you have such a grace and dignity to you that you're not that girl at the party who's gonna suddenly just tell them everything about themselves. Like everyone else might be exchanging stories, and they might be like, oh my God, I was so drunk, I blacked out, or whatever. And even if you have an embarrassing story, or even if that did happen to you, you're gonna be like, oh wow, oh, Oh yeah. Well, anyway, like you keep your dignity to you. So some people might be like, "Oh, this person's like closed off," or some of you guys might drink to like get away from that. Like you're like, "Oh, I come off as too reserved. I come off as too removed. Let me have a couple sips of wine and loosen up." But it's like this is a gift. You have a dignity that is beautiful. So don't run away from that. And if people get offended, I feel like some of you guys are up on a pedestal. Like people see you as perfect. And that might be a burden as well because I feel like, there are certain celebrities that everyone thinks of as perfect, like maybe Beyonce, like people tend to think of her as like untouchable, totally perfect. And that can be a bit of a burden as much as that's nice to get. It also is like, okay, I gotta act right. I can't slip up. I can't be seen stumbling out of a club, like having had too much to drink. I have to very much control my image, and it might be a lot of pressure. But I feel like that's a blessing, and not everyone could handle that pressure, but you guys can because you guys are very evolved and very intelligent. And that's coming through again is like you guys are good at strategy. You guys are good, I feel, at managing your emotions. And I feel like people say that about you, like, oh, wow, she's so relaxed or she's so chill or like she handles stress so well. She never gets upset. I've never seen her scream. I never saw her get like stressed out even when it's like a crazy situation. So you have a calmness to you. You guys have a almost relaxation about you that I feel like people really respect. There are people that are going to take this as a negative, like, oh, she thinks she's better than everyone, or she thinks she's too good for us here. But that's just a reflection of their own darkness and insecurities, and you guys shouldn't take it that way. But there are people that probably say stuff like that, like, oh, she thinks she's better than everyone. She thinks she's too good. But, block it out, the haterade, whatever. It's a sign that you're doing something special. So it doesn't really matter. But I do feel like there are people that say things like that and take it as a negative. I also feel like you guys have your defenders and the people that are just like, oh my gosh, she's so graceful. Oh my God, did you see what she was wearing? She's so beautiful. Wow, she always makes such an impression. Oh my God, she's always looking good. Like, I feel like you have as many supporters as you do the haters, but the haters might be louder. But you have a big fan group of people that like love you. So we also got traveling lightly, simplify your life, view from above, get the big picture, and finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. So it's almost like people might say that you think you're above them, which I was saying before, like you think you're too good, you think you're better than us. But I mean, it's not that you think you're better, it's just that you guys have a calm and you're not necessarily interested in engaging with everyone, because not everyone has good energy. Some people have trash energy. Some people, don't do any kind of spiritual hygiene, which is important. Just like we take real baths and showers, it's important to like take a salt bath or to cleanse yourself with crystals or do Reiki healing so that you're cleansed from all the negative stuff. So I feel like some people walk around with the toxic energy and then get mad when no one wants to engage with them. And it's like the same thing as like, if I never took a shower and then tried to hug a random person and be like, no thanks. Like, I mean, if you never have good energy and you're never cleansing yourself of negative energy, then yeah, no one's going to want to engage with your energy field. So I feel like you guys you keep your spiritual self very cleansed and very on point. So yeah, you don't want to engage with some random person that like, doesn't have a good vibe to them. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. I also feel like you guys have a vibe of someone who has traveled a lot or is very sophisticated. And it's funny because I do see kind of like this is a tower. I do see like a princess in a tower, almost like Rapunzel, how Rapunzel was stuck up in the tower. I feel like some of you guys come off as someone who was very protected growing up, or your parents had very high standards with you and like they wouldn't allow you to engage in bad behavior or like maybe date when you were younger. So you have this protected quality to you where you might seem overly innocent, or people might be like, I can't believe you never drank as a teen, or I can't believe you never did XYZ, or I can't believe you didn't date until you were 18 or something. And it's because you were kept kind of some of you guys, or maybe some of you guys did that for yourselves, but you didn't engage with like kind of bad behavior. And I feel like a lot of you guys, either you were protected by others or you protected yourself. And so some people, again, might be triggered by that because they might be like, well, oh, so you think you're too good to drink, or you think you're too good to date. And it's just like, well, I'm protecting and looking after myself. And you have that ability too, but yeah, there's like just a lot of messy jealousy energy. It's like how people would be jealous of a princess. Cause I really do feel like some of y'all are like princesses. And I keep seeing images of that. Like I said, Grace Kelly or Princess, if you guys are the masculine. So we got bag, hand, claw, club, stork, money path, fly, and ink pot. So again, with the divine feminine, like a pregnancy metaphor. So I really feel like you guys give off such a divine feminine energy. And then a lot of these cards can talk more about hostility, jealous people, anger or whatever with that, and controlling people. So I do feel like some of you guys have had people control you. That may be where, like, maybe you had really overprotective parents where they kind of tried to lock you up in a tower in a bad sense of like, I'm keeping you away from the world. You have to listen to my standards. And I don't know, but I feel like some of you guys have had people try to control you, but I'm feeling like you guys grew stronger as a result of that. Just like through any hard experience, we become strengthened. A lot of you guys were strengthened and now you exude this dignity and this strength. But some people might interpret that like it's almost like you have a steeliness about you and you have a toughness about you, and they might think, oh, like, because they think they're better. But it's like, no, it's just I've been through hardship and I have to have some walls up. But I do feel like, again, we have a lot of messages of money and success and also communication, because I feel like you guys are good communicators. So people are just talking about how you guys are destined for something big. People are saying that you guys are attractive. I do feel like there are people that would like to be closer to you, and they may talk, even not just jealous people, but people that are like, I wish she would go out to dinner with us. Like, I really like her so much. She always turns down drinks. Or I wish he would, come hang out with us, but like he always is busy. So there's so many people that want to know you guys better. So that's the only thing I would say that maybe, is I don't know, not even to be considered, because I love your guys' energy and your vibe, and I feel like you're just destined for something so special. I'm seeing Emily in Paris, which has come through in a bunch of readings lately, but I feel like, Lily Collins, she just looks so perfect, and she's got her clothes on point, she's got her vibe on point, she just seems like Miss Perfect, and a lot of people I think don't like that about her, but I feel like that's some of you guys, but there's nothing wrong with having everything in your life on point, so don't let that negativity get to you guys and just lean into that. Be like, yeah, I am perfect. We all are perfect, right? All of us are perfect as God made us. So don't let anyone make you feel bad about this about yourself. I feel like you guys are like a star energy that's going to achieve so much. You guys are so beautiful and gorgeous. So I hope you guys stay in this energy. I love it. And I am seeing like Elle Woods again. Like, I feel like you guys kind of are like Elle Woods, how all the people at Harvard like hated on her because they were like, she's so pretty, but she turned out being like the smartest one. So let them judge you, let them say whatever they want. You guys have it all, and if that irritates people, then good, whatever. But anyway, I hope that resonated, you guys. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing your thoughts and your stories and everything you guys have to say. So let me know. And also make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Make sure to like it. And I will be back very soon for another reading. So if you want to see more of my videos, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to see even more, you can check out my Patreon, link in my bio, and check those out over there. I am sending you guys so much love and light. I hope you guys have an amazing day and an amazing week. Take care, guys. Bye.